This is wrong type or
Break.
Taekwondo입니다. This type.
Traditional Taekwondo.
Look above there, you see youtube.com/watch ? V equal. Increase the size.
Okay, good.
That is the link.
To refresh.
Yeah.
저기서 새로 고치면 되지.
رابط موجود في أعلى الصفحة youtube.com بعدين watch الأرقام الجديدة فوق إذا تبغى صورة عنها وترسلها لأصدقائك إلى تايكوندو عائلة.
배터리가 없는 거 충전해야 되는 거예요?
Hector Jacques Haiti.
충전선이 없어?
Hector
오픈. 이거 옛날
Sebastian
혹시 이거 충전도 없겠지 않나?
Alvaro Fabian.
없겠지.
René Raymond. Bouba Brice.
발표한 사람만 있으면 상관이 없는데.
Dr. Mosh. Sanogo Seidu. last announcement, the most important announcement. They have just brought coffee and juice in the back.
Anuncio más importante, pongan atención todos, es muy importante. Acaban de traer el jugo.
We have a former procurement president, Grandmaster Dr. Lee Kim. I know he gets respected. And I'm going to have him give you welcoming remarks very quick.
이렇게 훌륭한 자리를 마련해 주신
The Grandmaster Jun Lee and the members of the GTTF in hosting this special event.
제가 전 세계를 다니면서 최고 배움의 자리를 마련해
I travel. You show your sincere desire to learn, so you are the one that giving me inspiration to continue my research in Taekwondo.
그리고 이 자리를 비롯해서 여러분들이 어떤 국가와 인종과 종교와 모든 걸 초월해서 기억을 가지고 떠났으면 좋겠습니다. 대단히 감사합니다.
Regardless of your gender, race, language, we are one. And make sure be humble, and that's the way you gain respect. That is the traditional Taekwondo concept. So from this moment forward, I'd like to ask you to be a strong Taekwondo leader so that you please be seated. Good morning. 안녕하세요. I'd like to welcome all of you to this very think tank forum. We've been talking about this. We've been researching about the traditional Taekwondo. It is time to share. It is time to benefit all who involving in our traditional Taekwondo. Today's topic is very simple. One, it's traditional Taekwondo, and you can actually define traditions of Taekwondo. Number three, how can traditional Taekwondo benefit humanity? So when you look at the books, we have the order of the speakers. First one will be our speaker title. Samuel Kamal. Next one, Hector Heidi. Sebastian, France. Alvaro Sanzana, Chile. And actually, Samuel Kamal is from Jordan. Rene Raymond, Australia. Buba Bryce, Cameroon. Robert Mosch, Austria. Leonardo Pantoa, Brazil. Sakura Michael Uganda. There is Norway, Poland. Professor Zurich, Mongolia. Christopher Valle, Guy Jones. So first speaker, ladies and gentlemen.
So this is not my slide. Olympic medalist in Seoul, 1988 Seoul Olympics, and also silver medal in the Asian Games. Asian Games, okay. Asian Games in '86, I got my silver medal. Also, I have got many medals for Jordan. I represented Jordan for 9 years as a national team. Then after that, I moved as an international referee. I became first-class international referee. Then I keep working in sports management and sports marketing for many years, and also opened my companies in living in Canada, running Taekwondo schools. I have master under me, Belgium. So, yeah, that's it. I want to declare that right photo. This is with King of Hussein, badge of honor sports achievements. Why we are here? What is the global Taekwondo Federation? This is the good one. So we have a great group working with Grandmaster in Taekwondo worldwide. It's not only just a project like any project. It's like a real one that you will know the benefits. And this presentation now, which I'm going to discuss today, or to present, is only about what is the global Taekwondo Federation and how to benefit. It is something we have to leave for our next generation. So, what is the legacy? So this is, you have to understand that we leave a legacy behind us. So when you are teaching Taekwondo, what you will do? Just how to do kicking or punching? No, it's not a legacy. Then after that. So let's go for Taekwondo origins. So it was, as you know, Taekwondo was rooted in Korea, and it's like was more focused on the physical, and it became an Olympic sport, and it was a demonstration that time. That time, people start thinking of Taekwondo as a competitive health or development. So they think about it as winning tournament. So it became after the Olympics used all around the world, and it was well known, so many people start doing Taekwondo. But are they doing Taekwondo in the right way or in the wrong way? So the competitive part of it is very interesting, fun, entertaining, but at the same time, we don't want to lose the of Taekwondo meaning. So our mission is dedicated to preserving the traditional values and technical techniques of Taekwondo. It's not, we are not forgetting the theory, by the way, but we are adding to it the principles, the ideas, the respect, all of these kinds of things that ensuring its legacy. Again, here we can take training. Also, the most important thing is the traditional training. The well-being of others, not only thinking of ourselves. I win a medal, or my student win a medal. No, we have also some winning a medal. They are coming for other reasons. So we have to understand it. We have to keep helping them. As we said yesterday, and of course, there is breaking force, there is like self-defense, there is other things. Next. So the POMC, we are focusing on it, but of course also with original POMC. Why is used? So this one also is important. Also the self-defense and breaking force. Next. So how to benefit the human mankind? So the Global Traditional Taekwondo Federation, we focus on character development. So as you see, we train like in the courses or seminars or conferences that will be organized in the future. We keep focusing on these elements. The physical and mental health, character development, sustainable growth of the Taekwondo community, empowerment and self-defense, and peace and harmony. So we, the Global Taekwondo Federation will promote righteous, lively, loyal, respect. So going with the respect is very important. It's like I can see in many schools nowadays the respect is lost. The student move from one club to another club. The master, they don't respect the senior master. So this traditional taekwondo will bring back all of this and also educate the masters how to revive this in your clubs or in your federations. The character development also is so important on the way how to bring the learning for the students, how to become better citizenship so they can get involved more in the community. Yeah, the physical and mental health also is going together, as you see. It's not only just we are doing taekwondo, we have also to, but like yesterday, the yoga guru was amazing, how to use also your mental, how to become more understand. Also integration will help and also to organization. They take advantage, part of that and self-defense. You know that, more powerful in the community and we can more. So, future generations inherit a taekwondo practice that is not only effective, but also meaningful and enriching. The Federation's commitment, this is our commitment. Now, in this life, everything is coming fast, everything is going fast, the technology, everything is like coming crazy. So, in Canada, by the way, is black. One is without a jacket form. Everyone should wear the belt. Everyone should be respected. So this kind of things we have also to report, especially with traditional and focus on respecting Taekwondo as much as one side, global Taekwondo Federation, and even if you are not, you bring your students. More and also to invite. So conclusion. Global Traditional Taekwondo Federation is more than an organization. It's a movement dedicated to keeping the heart and soul of Taekwondo alive for the betterment of humankind. So this is the key vision that we are working on to keep the minutes that we get a chance for others. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Grandma. As a professional courtesy, please turn your cell phone to silence or vibration. We are hearing many cell phones, right? Please.
أو حطه silent أو حطه على الهزاز.
Por favor, poner su teléfono en silencio o apagarlo para que no interrumpan a los que están exponiendo, porque eso es una falta de respeto. Gracias.
When you are on the stage, please skip talking about you. Okay, I know we had the first thing that the screen came up, so we're getting into the presentation right away. So no bio, please. Number two, we are not going to have any break until we finish. So when you have to use restroom, you are free to go and come back. And I will do a presentation for 10 minutes, and Q&A session will be at the end. So all the speakers, we're going to be setting up the chairs and tables on the stage and on the floor, and we're going to have a group Q&A session at the end. And we have a 10-minute time limit, so I'll give you 2-minute cue before the time is over. So please keep the limit for 10 minutes. Speaker number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Hector from Haiti.
Good morning, everybody. So, comme vous voyez, je suis Hector Jacques, je viens d'Haïti. Je suis venu traîner ici dans les grandes Antilles, dans la Caraïbe. Donc, nous venons représenter ici, dans cette grande assemblée, élève de l'association Sud-Est Taekwondo. Je suis le représentant du club Équipe de rêve et je suis membre de la Fédération haïtienne de Taekwondo et conseiller coach national. Et je suis le membre du Global National Taekwondo Federation GTTF. Donc, notre mission, c'est de faire le développement du taekwondo et de parler un peu de ce qui c'est le taekwondo, comment conserver le taekwondo traditionnel et comment le taekwondo traditionnel est bénéfique à l'humanité. Mesdames, Messieurs, distingués membres de l'Assemblée, les maîtres, les grands-maîtres, les responsables du protocole de logistique, les animateurs de cette formation, le président du Global Taekwondo Federation GTTF, le Master Johnny, et la presse en général. Je vous salue tous et toutes. Ma présentation, je suis Hector Jacques, comme vous voyez, 4e dan national et 2e dan Kukiwan. Je viens dans les Caraïbes, plus précisément Haïti, président du public élève et de l'association Sud-Est. Je suis membre de la Fédération haïtienne de Taekwondo et Global Federation Taekwondo traditionnel. Nos sujets sont celles-ci. Comme a dit dans les thèmes, c'est qu'est-ce que le taekwondo traditionnel, comment conserver le taekwondo traditionnel, comment le taekwondo traditionnel est bénéfique à l'humanité. Qu'est-ce que le taekwondo traditionnel? Tout compte faire, le taekwondo est une discipline ancestrale, un sport moderne venant du Corée du Sud, là où nous sommes. Vers les années 1955, créé par une assemblée des grands maîtres de différentes écoles d'arts martiaux et décidément de travailler sur la direction du général Choi Hong-hee. D'où l'apparition du taekwondo qui, par définition, taille, pied, prendre, rein, le dos qui est la voie. Donc, on définit le taekwondo comme la voie des mains et des pieds. Donc, alors le dos existait déjà dans plusieurs autres sports martiaux comme le judo, le taekwondo, etc. Pour nous autres, le dos, c'est le genre de vie. C'est la philosophie même de cette jolie art, la sagesse, le style, tout ça. Les pratiquants se nomment taekwondoïstes. Le taekwondo ouvre des facettes à l'homme dans le développement du corps et de l'esprit en travaillant la souplesse, la flexibilité chez nous. On l'utilise pour faire la défense et non l'attaque, tout en effectuant des mouvements spectaculaires, c'est-à-dire les démonstrations pouvant enlever le stress et établir la motivation chez les gens. Ils prônent l'esprit d'équipe afin que nos pratiquants soient pareils dans le monde entier. Pour conserver cet art antique et jeune, par ses évolutions, on doit se référer au travail impeccable que les kilomètres impliquent. Le but, c'est d'harmoniser le corps et l'esprit et d'accueillir les réflexes et les mouvements optimaux. La création de la mère du taekwondo a ses rôles qui est occupante, donc donner une stabilité pour conserver cet art en 1972 et qui donnait au premier championnat du monde WTF à présent dénommé W. Un sport sans vie n'a pas de progression. C'est comme le taekwondo à travers ces événements constitue un corps vivant rempli d'animation chaque année. On utilise certaines activités dans le monde grâce au sens de démonstration et de compétition quand un sport est olympique et mondial et on flotte dans plus de 200 pays. La conservation est facile. Oui, la conservation est facile. Il suffit de suivre l'esprit du taekwondo. C'est vrai qu'il les enfants, les adultes, qui peuvent livrer à la délinquance juvénile juste pour faire monter son échelle. Tandis que, pour conserver le taekwondo traditionnel, on doit avoir plus d'écoles, créer des associations, organiser plus de compétitions, fournir plus de séminaires, et que les mêmes principes et les mêmes lois soient pareils, les mêmes pays, les mêmes communes soient identiques. Nous serions contents de voir les pratiquants travailler ensemble, comme nous sommes là, en gardant les mêmes soucis pour que l'on ait la haine d'esprit du grandeur, ne rentre pas dans cette belle famille. Et quand je dis l'esprit du grandeur ne rentre pas dans cette belle famille, c'est comme je vois tous les grands masters ici, les masters et les inspecteurs, nous sommes aussi belles et cette famille est si jolie et nous nous respectons nous l'un vers l'autre. On n'arrivera à conserver le taekwondo traditionnel si on continuera à suivre le travail du global Traditional Taekwondo Federation. Enfin, les grands maîtres, le général Taekwondo, vivront en nous de génération en génération. Depuis la création du taekwondo, il est considéré comme une arme ancestrale et moderne. C'est à développer le corps et l'esprit de l'homme en travaillant la souplesse, l'agilité, la force musculaire, l'antidote contre le stress et la ténacité. Il permet d'oublier les tracas professionnels et introduire sa technique et la sagesse. Le taekwondo peut enseigner à partir des bas âges jusqu'à l'âge vieillesse. Comme on peut voir ici, il y a des gens de différents âges qui pratiquent le taekwondo. Et il n'y en a pas de problème. Et l'esprit de l'être humain, c'est un sport olympique qui vise à éviter et empêcher la violence et la délinquance juvénile pour bien l'esprit du taekwondo, tel que la politesse, sans oublier la patience, l'esprit de soi, la fermeté et voilà. Heureusement, nous les taekwondoïs sont des grands bénéficiaires malgré qu'on peut trouver parmi nous ceux ou celles qui connaissent ces droits et ne les respectent pas. Le taekwondo représente une armation complète, capable de changer le comportement et corriger les gens dans la vie quotidienne. On doit continuer à prôner l'évolution de cette société afin que beaucoup de gens auront la stabilité et l'équilibre du corps et de l'esprit. Donc, on représente maintenant tout par les images et tout ce qu'on a fait déjà. Et on dit merci avec tous ces grandes assemblées. Et je vous respecte beaucoup. Le global a fait nous autant de choses. Et notre image de progression, on vous dit merci parce qu'aujourd'hui, je fais parmi tous ces speakers maintenant qui représentent maintenant le taekwondo et qui font la démonstration et disent ce qui c'est le taekwondo traditionnel et comment on sait le taekwondo traditionnel et comment c'est bénéfique à tout le monde.
Thank you, Hector, all the way from Haiti. Next one, Sebastian Lee from France.
to mankind. So my name is Sebastian Lee. I'm an associate professor in statistics, and I run a dojo which is called Tongtong Taekwondo Dojo. So for those who don't know what Tongtong means traditional. So I'm going to talk about traditional Taekwondo, the way we teach traditional Taekwondo tribes. So we're not going to repeat what just has been said about sports. It brings many benefits, and you can see all those benefits of sports. You all know that it's about mental health, social benefits, and so on. But we're going to talk about Taekwondo and our journey to traditional Taekwondo. Next. So this is the so-called Olympic Taekwondo that you all know. And it has the same benefit as sports. It reflects the fundamental principles of excellence, respect, friendship, and fair play. So what about Olympic Taekwondo? It has good values, but then can it contribute to being healthier, to being a better person, to improving mankind? So that's one of my main questions of research. So one of the answers of Olympic Taekwondo was to benefit to mankind was, next, was the so-called para Taekwondo. So it seems very inclusive, but the question is it really as inclusive as it seems to be? Next. So my question is, Taekwondo as it's practiced by a majority of people in its current form can only reach a fraction of the population because it's for elite athletes. So the question is whether Taekwondo can be passed on to as many people as possible, thus contributing even more to the well-being of mankind. So that's the main question. Next, please. So this picture shows what can be passed on as a tradition. So we have to, as you said, think about the meaning of the word tradition. Tradition comes that word, tradition, which means the act of handing over, to transmit the legacy, or to deliver. Then it comes back to deliver and to transmit. So that means that tradition reflects to the idea of passing to someone and passing to a huge number of persons. Next, please. So I'm going to present you our journey to traditional Taekwondo for visually impaired people. So in my school, we teach to blind people, and that's what I'm going to show you. So we're going to have a couple of videos to show what we can do for blind people. Next, please. So it begins with that male. So it was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, we began our journey about traditional and visually impaired Taekwondo. Can you click on the movie, please? So on the movie, it was 8 years ago. So we have here 2 people not playing. If he doesn't play, the presentation is not going to work. That's why I asked you to put my computer. Can you put my computer? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so can you click on the presentation? So these are 2 people who are visually impaired. So the 2 persons here, they cannot see anything, and we train them, okay, to take a look. So that's what 8 years ago in our small dojo. Can you go next, please? So now, 8 years after, at the French Crusade Championship. So we're going to see a video of the same person 8 years after. Can you go? So this is the person. He's totally blind. He cannot see anything. And he's practicing with someone who can see. So we have a special way to teach him. So it's the 5th play, as you can see. But this person with the red belt cannot see anything once again. So we have a coach here who tells him about the different directions. And of course you know what we say. And you can see that we work on the orientation. So we work on the inner orientation. So that's the main job. And of course at the end, we can see that when he lost his concentration, he can go in a different direction. So it's very difficult for him because then he's losing his direction, and of course, it's not as perfect as it could be because he's going in the wrong way. But remember, he's totally lost. So that was 8 years ago. Right. Next, please. So what have we done? So what we've done during the pandemic is that we didn't want to let those guys train by themselves. So we developed some kind of applications for them to correct themselves. So we had work on many projects, many documentary. And then I'm going to show you. This is an example of one tool that we provided to our Taekwondo practitioner. So as I told you, I'm working in statistics. Next. So can you click on the movie? So this is a tool that we provide to our blind people. So the tool can be put on your phone, and then the phone is going to correct your own movements. Next. So this is what the phone is recording, okay? So we have those kind of curves, and once the phone is recording those kind of curves, it can tell you whether the movement is bad or not. So that the blind people can train by themselves. So they know if the high of the knee is high enough, they know if their position is high enough. So that's what we did during the pandemic. So we made some researches for those people who can train by themselves. Next, please. So we also made a small video. It's on YouTube. It's called Taekwondo Visually Impaired Practitioner, Thinking or Rising. And so if you click on the link, can you click on the link? Yeah. If you click on the link, you're going to have the trailer of that video. If you have a connection. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's going to take you 1 minute. And you'll see the story of that person here who was practicing. So, can you put the subtitles, please? Just put the subtitles. Here. It's in French. Can you put the subtitles? Yeah, sorry. Okay. This one. Okay, maybe it's downloading, so it's not going to run, but anyway, there's a 20-minute movie about those practitioners that we have in our theater. If we have time, I'll show you the movie. Maybe we'll come to the presentation. And this is what I wanted to tell you to conclude because I have only 10 minutes. If Taekwondo was to have a real impact in my time, it has to be traditional because we cannot teach Olympic Taekwondo to blind people. So it has to be traditional, it has to be practiced in a traditional way because we need volunteer, we need to engagement, we need to show people how to invest their time, and we have to mix communities. So that's one of my main messages. So in our dojo, we not only have blind people, but we also have migrants, and they're coming for free, of course. Next. And what I wanted to tell you is that, remember this picture. It's not only about legacy. This picture is like, pinky promise. But it's not only a pinky promise. In East Asia, it's that red string here that you have. It's like a strong bond. So traditional Taekwondo is a commitment. They define the promise that we make to ourselves, to others. And it's a promise that will set an example, that will change things for the better. But then I'm going to end with that next slide, the final one. So this, as you know, this is traditional Taekwondo. We call that Yaksan-kari. It's very important for us. So this presentation is dedicated to one of our first blind practitioners who sadly passed away. And I just wanted to show you how she can do, she's totally blind, how she can do Yaksan-kari. So can you click on the movie? And of course, as you can see, it's a little bit confused at the end. But, she trained a lot, totally blind person. But still, she can react, she can do self-defense, she can do every, I would say, things that you can do in traditional Taekwondo. Not, of course, in Olympic Taekwondo. So I would like to thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Savonye and Mr. Stanley. Next one, Alvaro Sanzana from Chile.
Buenos días. Primero de todo quiero partir esta presentación pidiendo la autorización de los maestros no locales presentes para poder iniciar mi presentación. En mi presentación creo que soy de Chile, soy maestro KMS Mukiwon, mi graduación es de sección Mukiwon, séptimo Chutuhuá. Dentro de las cosas que he logrado hacer en Taekwondo es haber sido técnico de la selección chilena de Punce, de mi país, donde empezamos a crecer en ese aspecto, en el Punce. Pero más allá de presentarme a mí, quisiera enfocar esta presentación en un aspecto más allá de ser literal, en lo que nos convoca en los tres temas que estamos planteando. Quiero hacer algo más reflexivo y con un sentido más de propuesta, en la cual y no describir lo que estamos, en este caso, presentando, en este caso, en los tres temas de que quieren acá presentes. Quiero partir esto diciendo el taekwondo tradicional. Ya todos sabemos nosotros los que estamos acá qué es el taekwondo tradicional. Creo que muchos lo tenemos muy claro. Sin embargo, creo que tenemos que enfocarnos en algo más allá. Que para mí, y para lo que hemos visto hoy en día en el taekwondo mundial, lo que nos ha alejado del taekwondo tradicional es la pérdida de estas tres cosas. Y la primera de todo es la reciprocidad que nosotros tenemos que tener como maestros de taekwondo hacia nuestros estudiantes. Muchas veces nosotros como maestros hablamos de respeto, pero muchas veces nosotros como maestros tampoco respetamos en algunos casos a nuestros estudiantes. El respeto no es algo que el estudiante solamente tenga que venir hacia mí, es algo mutuo, algo recíproco. Y creo que esas cosas las hemos perdido durante muchos años. La razón yo creo que cada uno de nosotros la tenemos. Sin embargo, creo que es algo muy importante y hay que volver al taekwondo tradicional con ese respeto mutuo. La práctica, si bien es cierto, los años nos van pasando la cuenta, cada vez somos mayores y nos cuesta movernos un poco más, pero eso no nos impide practicar, no nos impide hacer cosas buenas en conjunto con nuestros estudiantes, con nuestros asesorados, por ejemplo, porque la categoría que nos va entregando el DAN o la maestría no nos impide movernos. Podemos movernos perfectamente, dando un ejemplo también a ello, y creo que la práctica también debe ser recíproca en la medida que nosotros podemos. Y eso todo nos convierte en la última parte que es el arte. Recordemos que el taekwondo, lo primero es un arte marcial, y el arte como si se define lo más cercano a la perfección. Por lo tanto, si yo no tengo respeto por mi arte y lo practico de alguna forma mi arte, no tengo arte, no tengo taekwondo, no tengo reciprocidad en mi arte. Para eso tenemos que ser maestros seguros. Acá en la lámina les presento a Gabriela Mistral, que es chilena Premio Nobel de Literatura en 1945, y una de sus frases célebres, como dice ahí, dice: para corregir no hay que temer. El peor maestro es el maestro con miedo. ¿Por qué digo esto? Porque muchas veces tenemos temor a que nuestros discípulos, nuestros alumnos crezcan. Ese temor nos lleva a muchas cosas y empezamos a perder la tradición del taekwondo y empezamos a perder a esos discípulos. Creo que eso es muy importante. Creo que eso es muy importante de no temer a ceder, de no temer a entregar, de no temer a ayudar a nuestros alumnos para que crezcan igual que nosotros. Si nosotros tuvimos alguna mala experiencia alguna vez con algún maestro, nosotros no debemos repetir esa experiencia, nos tenemos que quedar lidiar con ese miedo. Tenemos que seguir creciendo. Next. ¿Cómo conservamos este mundo tradicional? Bueno, aquí tenemos 6 aspectos fundamentales según mi visión, que obviamente es la preservación de la historia, no tenemos que olvidar jamás de dónde venimos, cómo se creó y cómo estamos en este mundo. Para mí, en lo personal, y creo que para Corea y para muchos países, la práctica del Kung es fundamental para la conservación de este mundo tradicional. Creo que muchas escuelas, muchas asesorías en el mundo se enfocan en pocas áreas, principalmente en todo el mundo se enfocan mucho en Kirui. Dejando de lado las otras 3 áreas del mundo que se Kung, el Kyuban y los Insul. Sin embargo, creo que en el Kung tenemos las bases necesarias para desarrollar todo lo demás. También tenemos un recurso adicional para poder incentivar a nuestros estudiantes y para poder conservarlos entrenando. El Kirugi tiene tiempo límite de caducidad en cuanto al entrenamiento y la participación. El Kirugi a los 30 años aproximadamente ya no se puede hacer más Kirugi. Unce no tiene límite de edad. Y podemos seguir incentivando y poder conservando nuestro taekwondo a través del Unce. Y le doy mucho énfasis a esto porque creo que es muy importante. Los entrenamientos de maestros. Hoy día es un honor estar acá ante tantos maestros, principalmente en la primera fila que están los 9 danes, principalmente que está el maestro Lee, que es una leyenda del taekwondo mundial. Creo que esto nos alimenta mucho como taekwondistas y nos alimenta el alma. Creo que sin estos entrenamientos, estos momentos, eventos internacionales como estos, el taekwondo se empieza a desaparecer y esto nos rescata nuevamente, nos enamora nuevamente. Queremos nuevamente el taekwondo. Y creo que esto es muy importante hacerlo regionalmente en cada continente. Hay maestros, modernos danes, octavos danes en cada continente que a veces los tenemos olvidados, pero creo que es la hora de empezar a apuntar a esos maestros en cada continente, incentivarlos y ayudarlos para que hagamos este tipo de eventos también en cada región. Creo que eso es muy importante. Y ahí está la enseñanza de valores y la documentación y la identificación con los medios que todos podemos tener. Como reflexión, en esta parte, nosotros no podemos pensar en un futuro sin olvidarnos que estamos en un presente que está débil en este mundo tradicional. Pero no podemos olvidarnos del pasado, no podemos olvidarnos de nuestros ancestros, de nuestros maestros, de nuestros formadores, porque para tener un futuro tengo que recordar de dónde venimos. Y creo que eso se nos olvida y por eso estamos perdiendo nuestro mundo tradicional. ¿Cómo este mundo tradicional puede beneficiar a la comunidad? Creo que para todos es sabido, de todos los que estamos acá, que es salud y bienestar. Algunos que hemos entrenado mucho, como los maestros más antiguos, creo que la salud también nos pasa la cuenta. Creo que nos empiezan a sonar las rodillas, empezamos a funcionar un poco mal. Pero sin embargo, nuestra salud en general es buena. El desarrollo personal en todo sentido. Yo siempre he dicho a mis estudiantes, si usted es taekwondista, si usted es un buen estudiante, usted va a ser un mejor ingeniero, va a ser un mejor abogado, va a ser un mejor médico, va a ser un mejor profesor, va a ser un mejor hermano, un mejor hijo, un mejor padre, una mejor madre. Es un desarrollo personal que nosotros como maestros de taekwondo tenemos que seguir cultivando. Pero el respeto, ya lo hablamos, la comunicación con la sociedad, el sentido de identidad que le podemos dar a la cultura de nuestras sociedades, también es muy importante. La cultura y tradición que la podemos traspasar a nuestras sociedades. Y obviamente, lo que hacemos es la autodefensa. Le damos una herramienta más hoy en día que los tiempos están muy violentos, le estamos dando una herramienta más a las personas para que tengan un sentido más de defensa, que se sientan más seguros. Y eso obviamente contribuye mucho en la humanidad. Para esto me permito hacer una pequeña propuesta que lo podemos ver. Propongo un empadronamiento de todos los practicantes de taekwondo desde el cinturón amarillo hacia adelante, no solamente con los danes. ¿Por qué? Porque esto nos permite tener un control de cuánto tiempo estas personas están entrenando antes de llegar al primer dan o primer punto, para asegurarnos que tengan un tiempo mínimo de educación. No solamente que vayan a buscar una medalla que con un año se está entregando un cinturón negro y después tenemos malos practicantes de taekwondo, malos maestros, y ahí perdemos la tradición del taekwondo. Y eso es una propuesta que me gustaría que le tomaran en cuenta los maestros. Y Y la conclusión final, obviamente con estos tres aspectos fundamentales del taekwondo, nos otorgan muchos beneficios, muchos beneficios. Obviamente salud, el equilibrio y todo lo que hemos cultivado durante años en el taekwondo. Sin embargo, me gustaría terminar esta presentación simplemente diciéndoles que abran sus corazones, que el ego que muchas veces tenemos y colgamos en nuestro muro del ego, lo dejemos un poco atrás, lo tapemos, cultivemos más, amemos y queramos mucho a nuestros estudiantes, nosotros mismos amémonos capacitándonos día a día siempre y queramos mucho el taekwondo para que el taekwondo tradicional no se pierda por los valores que debemos expresar. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Sabonim Alvaro Sanjana from Chile. Next one, Ronnie Raymond, Australia.
Good morning. I just thought I'd come out this side to give you next the opportunity to look the other way. My name's René Levale. I'm an academic at the University of Technology in Sydney, and my research area is looking into the impacts of technology in schools. Next slide, please. I thought we'd start off with a bit of a definition. We're talking about tradition, and I looked at what could be classified as tradition. So I was looking into the dictionary. The dictionary came up, tradition refers to the transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation, or the fact of being passed on this way. I then had a bit of thought about it, and I thought to myself, I've got to believe, my own personal belief, that there's actually two forms of Taekwondo. We're now going down that route. We're going down the route of traditional Taekwondo, and this is the definition that I cobbled together. Traditional Taekwondo is martial art that retains its emphasis on self-defense, moral philosophy, and personal discipline, focusing less on sport and more on the broader, deeper aspects of martial arts. Its focus is on the full breadth of the art. It's a holistic practice, combines physical techniques with mental and ethical development, emphasising balance, respect, self-improvement, and personal growth. These are some of the things that we saw yesterday during the classes that we had yesterday. I also believe that sports Taekwondo is, we go back to the previous slide please, is the athletic competition focused side of Taekwondo. Prioritises speed, agility, precision, predominantly kicking techniques. It's evolved into a global, distinctive, competitive sport with its own rules and training methods and objectives. While it retains some elements of traditional Taekwondo, its emphasis is on athletic performance and competition rather than self-defense and philosophical aspects that are emphasised in traditional Taekwondo. Next, please. So I looked further into this, and Taekwondo's roots trace back over 2,000 years. Something that we all know about, is quite well documented, is supported by the WT. It's linked to the Korean history. You can see through the murals from the mural kingdom has been identified by An and Mani, but we can see that there's particularly deep roots within the sport itself. It's rooted in Confucian values. Taekwondo emphasises discipline, respect, moral development. Its practitioners follow the tenets of courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and indomitable spirit guiding both martial arts practice and everyday life. Traditional Taekwondo prioritises self-defense over sport, focusing on powerful strikes, joint locks, control sparring, to simulate real scenarios. Next, please. are not only physical exercises, but are also infused with philosophical meanings, teaching principles such as balance, focus, and breathing control. We have traditional techniques which emphasises fundamental techniques such as punches, blocks, powerful kicks, unlike modern sport which is focusing more on kicking and competitive sparring. Traditional Taekwondo teaches us a balanced combination of both hand and foot techniques. We have breaking with regards to the boards and so forth, which is symbolising the development of power within the sport. At some schools they use traditional weapons, and we saw with the one of the sessions yesterday, using the short staff. And as physical conditioning and mental conditioning, and focusing not only on physical prowess, but also on mental fortitude. Emphasising meditation, which we also did yesterday, and breathing exercise controls. Next, please. So, how do we conserve the Taekwondo? We do that through our teaching classes. The classes should be structured to incorporate different aspects of Taekwondo. We look at the classes that are run in sports Taekwondo gymnasiums or clubs. They usually have a short warm-up, and they do a lot of sparring and competition techniques. The traditional classes, as we all know, encompasses and covers different aspects of traditional Taekwondo. We look at forms, we look at patterns, we look at self-defense, we look at one-step sparring, we encompass the whole spectrum. Next slide, please. So, to conserve the traditions, you can also participate in activities preserving the traditions, such as competitions in terms of Pumse competitions, festival-orientated competitions such as the Hanadan, and we can also participate and activate actively in community activities to foster and develop the traditional Taekwondo. We can do that through cultural events, through demonstrations, workshops focusing on traditional techniques and philosophies, through our educational aspects where we go and take the traditional martial arts to the people, and we ourselves come forward and learn more through educational aspects such as seminars such as this. And we can be involved in open community events such as school holiday camps, cultural trips, where we have seen, I'm sure everybody has gone across it, where we've brought groups from our schools over to Korea for cultural experiences. Next, please. In the situations, this is sort of bridging on my research area, is looking at where we can take our teachings of traditional Taekwondo across into areas where it's inaccessible through the use of technology. We saw through the COVID period a lot of classes are still being continued. It's not being done online using technology to do that. We can also conserve the tradition by having libraries of historical videos, philosophical writings, and manuals for both practitioners and scholars. Next, please. So how can Taekwondo, traditional Taekwondo, benefit mankind? We go through discipline and self-control. Taekwondo instills discipline effectively. It respects authority and develops emotional control through structured training. Develops confidence and self-esteem by progressing its skills, and the rank system, as well as the belt system, boosts confidence and fosters a sense of accomplishment. It helps promote concentration, as we see through performing their various Pumse. There's a lot of concentration involved in there. Concentration is sharpening the aspects of the individual people and enhancing mental clarity as they go. There is a certain amount of stress relief through the physical exertion of going through particular classes and working through a training regime that will in turn reduce stress. There's assists in improving physical fitness through offering full body workouts, improves heart health, it improves reducing injuries, it assists in providing balance, and complex movements in Taekwondo, traditional Taekwondo, enhances conditioning, agility and reflexes for the participants. It also provides us with mental resilience and emotional well-being, where people overcome challenges in training and builds mental toughness and resilience for life. Training helps practitioners to stay calm, composed under stress, and improves moral control. Meditation and focused movement also provides mindfulness and inner peace. Next, please. Practicing traditional Taekwondo introduces students to the Korean heritage. It fosters respect for its history and its values. As a globally practiced martial art, Taekwondo also bridges cultures, offering opportunities for international exchange through competitions, seminars. It also emphasises philosophical principles through the values of courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and the indomitable spirit. These guide our practitioners towards personal growth and ethical living. Learning about Taekwondo's origins connects students with martial arts history, helping preserve cultural journey. It also teaches respect for instructors, teaches respect for peers, and also improves individuals' respect for opponents, fosters empathy, mutual appreciation both in and out of the game journey. Martial arts schools create an inclusive environment promoting social bonds, friendships, and a sense of belonging. Advanced students often mentor beginners, and I remember when I started out, as I progressed through my rankings, my colour belt ratings, I was being instructed through my instructor to assist the new beginners. So it involves a certain amount of leadership training all the way through. Promote self-defence over aggression, teaching practitioners to resolve conflicts peacefully and practical self-restraint. Programs for youths emphasise discipline, caters for character development, responsibility, steering young people away from negative behaviours. Taekwondo encourages physical activity, advocating for healthier lifestyles and helping reduce the risks of lifestyle-related diseases. Next, please. So, in closing, practicing traditional Taekwondo has wide-reaching effects on both individuals and society. Not only strengthens the body, but also cultivates mental resilience, promotes emotional well-being, a deep sense of respect and responsibility. The values and principles taught in traditional Taekwondo go beyond physical training, contributing to personal growth, cultural understanding, and a more harmonious, peaceful society. So to close, I'd like to give you a little something to think about, maybe discuss a little bit later. There is debate amongst the Taekwondo community that we have traditional Taekwondo, we have the sport of Taekwondo. My belief is that, my personal belief is that we're now at crossroads. The sports Taekwondo is going off into a totally different path, and we are now losing, through sports Taekwondo, a lot of our traditional values. We look at the techniques that are being used in sports Taekwondo compared to traditional Taekwondo. There's a whole range of skills that we have in traditional Taekwondo that are now going by the wayside. Unfortunately, the general public sees the sports Taekwondo as missing out on the understanding of what traditional Taekwondo is. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. Global Bright, Cameroon. Please try to keep
a time limit of 10 minutes. I give you cue 2 minutes prior.
Hi everyone, my name is Uba Brice. I'm coming from Cameroon. Next please. My presentation of the three topics given will emphasize on one word. This word is tradition. Next. So, what is traditional taekwondo? Critics often have a pejorative view on the notion of tradition. And to this regard, tradition appears to be the submission to the authority of the past, most often resulting on stereotypical behavior, such a description reveals a misunderstanding of the concept of tradition, which meaning is deeper. Next. So what is tradition? Tradition can be explained as a set of cultural elements that current generations have received from previous generations and whose mission in turn is to pass on to the future generations. So, this is the main objective of, in our sense, of traditional taekwondo. Next. So, more often, the teachings of the past carry incredible lessons that flows from centuries of experience and learning. These lessons come from a long period of reflection of man in the state of harmony with other men, with the nature, and with all the things surrounding him. So, next. Thus, traditional taekwondo in its practice is not limited to physical training. It also conveys values. And there are many values. We have respect, integrity, solidarity, peace, and so on, which tends to disappear nowadays. The goal is therefore to form a mens sana in corpore sano. That is, to form a good spirit in a good body. And that's the main objective of traditional taekwondo. At the end, traditional taekwondo can benefit the humanity by reconciling man with his deep nature, which is that of a being living in harmony with his fellow humans and in harmony with the environment. Next. So, how to conserve traditions of taekwondo? To conserve traditions of taekwondo, one should apply and spread good character, which is obtained only by those possessing the tenets and the things that make up the very foundation of taekwondo. Yes? We can also apply some measures, starting from our dojas. There are many things we can apply to conserve traditional taekwondo, like instilling traditional taekwondo training as a way of life by emphasizing on rules and virtue, by promoting amalgam events, by holding periodically traditional taekwondo think tank summit like this one. Next. How can traditional taekwondo benefit mankind at last? The most important thing humanity as a collective and as individuals can benefit from traditional taekwondo is good character. Indeed, it is no mistake that the true practitioners of taekwondo are known as people with the highest moral character and integrity. So, our modern way of life does not only have positive effects, it also carries negative aspects. Among them, we have overexploitation of the nature, deterioration of the environment, water and air pollution, and so on. Next. Aside, new technologies and modernism as a whole carries most of the time that side that tends to lose mostly the young people. Next. In fact, we cannot totally reject modernism as it can ease many aspects of our lives. Moreover, it has a positive side on which we can emphasize. Next. In such a troublesome context, traditional Taekwondo can enlighten us with many different life manners by bringing well-being, psychological and mental balance, sense of discipline and honor, inclusion and social cohesion, and peace. To conclude, traditional Taekwondo can benefit humanity by reconciling man with his deep nature, which is that of a human living in harmony with his fellow human and in harmony with the environment. Thanks for your kind attention.
Thank you, Salomon Price. Next, Norbert Mosch from Austria.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests and fellow Taekwondo grandmasters and masters. My name is Norbert Mosch, and I'm very honored to be here in your company. I will try to find a short answer to the following questions from my point of view. Next, please. At first, we will have to specify a definition of what traditional Taekwondo means and how it differs from other forms of Taekwondo, mainly modern competition Taekwondo. I would like to propose the following definition of traditional Taekwondo as a basic concept for this presentation. Traditional Taekwondo is a martial art based on the Kukyoon standard techniques. Its goal is to educate body and mind of the practitioner and ultimately to contribute to a better society. Most of us have noticed the great shift of methods and goals that Taekwondo has undergone in the last decades. What has been adored and envied by many when Taekwondo had received the ultimate recognition of becoming an Olympic sport, converted to disaffirmation and even ridiculousness when scrolling to the pages of social media today. Apparently, something must have happened to Taekwondo in these years between. Next, please. Changes in Taekwondo not only apply to techniques, training methods, clothing, underlying concepts and goals. Without diving deeper in the many differences between traditional and modern Taekwondo, one is safe to say that today's Taekwondo is not the Taekwondo which most of us Taekwondo veterans have been attracted to in our younger days. This is mainly due to IOC recommendations and guidelines to keep Taekwondo inside the Olympic Games. Rules have changed, and so the competition techniques adapted to those guidelines. A major part of this change is also based on the introduction of electronic body protectors, which originally seemed to be a good idea regarding objective point scoring, but created many problems afterwards. Next, please. However, IOC rules and federation statutes are just one reason for the change that Taekwondo has undergone. Like me, some of you may have been international referees and can witness the reformation of traditional Taekwondo into a modern sport. In my case, the first thing that caused me a queasy feeling was when I noticed the loss of respect. The respect between one competitor to another, between a competitor and a coach, and finally the respect between competitors and referees declined year after year. Many of you may know this picture, which unfortunately has been published all over the world. It shows the Cuban player Angel Matos hitting referee Chuck Jedward in the face during the Beijing Olympics in 2008 after having lost his fight. Even if the Cuban player has been given a lifetime ban afterwards, it is a symbol for the dramatic loss of respect which I witnessed during my times as an international referee. There may be exceptions, and I also have seen some, but for me there remained a feeling that there was too many events in which were not in accordance with the values and teachings that I have received in my young Taekwondo days. Next, please. Nowadays, many young Taekwondo competitors do not care about traditional values. A dobok is just a costume they have to wear in competitions. A belt is rather awkward and impractical part of that costume too, and their main goal is to get medals no matter how. The training consists of repetition of techniques that may be useful to score points only, and their mind is focused on finding the slightest gap in the competition rules to give them advantage at tournaments. There may be a justified place for that kind of sports competitions, and the presence of Taekwondo at the Olympics prove that there is. I'm not against sports Taekwondo. However, it should be recognized what it is. It is no more Taekwondo. Let's call it Korean foot fencing or kick fighting or whatever, I will be fine. Next, please. Traditional Taekwondo, however, includes more than punching and kicking. It develops body and mind. Of course, it is a fighting art, but teaching goes beyond physical training. More important than developing physical skills is developing character and mind. Can Taekwondo do this? Definitely. It needs just the right teacher to do that. I will give you this a little later. Technically, traditional Taekwondo offers a far broader program than sports Taekwondo. It includes self-defense, breaking techniques, pumse, homunculus, and more. While sports competition can be done only during a few years, traditional Taekwondo can be trained during lifetime. I think the benefits of traditional Taekwondo are evident, and the sheer number of Taekwondo people who train using the methods of traditional Taekwondo show its virtues. This leads to the next question. Next, please. How to conserve the traditions of Taekwondo? There is a short answer for these questions. It depends on the teacher. Anyone here who owns a Taekwondo club or school will know this. If you offer competition training, you will raise competitors. If you put the main focus on traditional training, you will have fewer people for sports competition, but students who comply with those training methods and want to dive in more deeply into Taekwondo. Can you do both? I doubt it. At the basic level, it will be possible, but not when you take into account the high level of international sports competition. If you want to succeed at sports competitions on a high level, there is no time for doing anything else than competition training. There is also no need to do this if your only goal is winning medals. Which one is better? Which one is more valuable? You will decide yourself. As we are here to discuss traditional Taekwondo, I assume that all of you have made this decision already. In my opinion, educating the character and teaching a way of life is more valuable than winning medals, even if there can be also an important educational value in sports competition. Excuse me. So, conserving the traditions of Taekwondo is foremost the task of the trainer, or let's better say, the master. Because this is also a distinction between sports Taekwondo and traditional Taekwondo. While a trainer prepares athletes for competition, a master prepares disciples for life. When doing so, the most important thing is this: be a role model. Your students will notice any gap between the goals that you teach and your own behavior. They will accept your teaching if they can look at you as a living example for the values and techniques you teach to them. This is not an easy task, because it means that your own behavior will be observed and scrutinized every day. It is much easier if you have found a role model which you can try to follow. I'm sure that everyone has done that. For me, it is Grandmaster Lee Kyo-yun for many reasons, and I'm glad that he is here with us today. Next, please. So, besides teaching etiquette and morality, traditional Taekwondo training is based on Kukimon standard techniques, which also differ from sports competition and even from sports bronze competition somehow. However, they contain the essence of Taekwondo, and by teaching them correctly, we will conserve the traditions of Taekwondo. Next, please. Lastly, how can traditional Taekwondo benefit mankind? In these times, when secure boundaries and guidelines seem to shatter, it is important to find a strong base of guidelines where one can orient himself to. Values like integrity, self-control, humility, fairness, perseverance are more necessary than ever to guarantee a good life, not only for oneself, but also for others. Traditional Taekwondo will provide those guidelines, especially for the young. It gives them rules to follow and provides character education. To conquer yourself at first, not the opponent, is perhaps the most valuable lesson from traditional Taekwondo training. And this is more necessary than ever if you look at the situation everywhere in the world. Next, please. While Taekwondo is technically suitable for all age categories, especially children and young adults can be positively influenced by Taekwondo. They are looking for idols they can follow, and the Taekwondo master has a mighty position to fill out this role. Because traditional Taekwondo teaches fighting, which in one form or another is an essential part of anyone's life from the beginning to its end, it is very attractive. At the same time, Taekwondo sets strict rules when and how to fight and how to avoid fight. Next, please. Controlling emotions, reducing anger and rage, calming down one's mind in critical situations are very important in a society where many individuals here have to interact with each other every day. Conflicts are inevitable, and there must be ways to solve them without continually battling each other. Traditional Taekwondo offers not only a solution for situations in Dojang or in a competition situation. By teaching morals, etiquette, and humility, it educates the mind of the practitioners, and therefore it contributes to a better society. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sabunim Robert Mosh. Next one, Leonardo Pantoja from Brazil.
Hello everybody. Good morning. And for those who don't know me, I'm Leonardo Mohandes, Dr. Leonardo Mohandes. I'm also a PhD. And I studied Taekwondo as a player, as a coach, as a master, and also as an academic field. And today, I'd like to show a different perspective about the three themes, three subjects we are thinking about. Next, also in a personal journey. But at first, I'm seeing all the colleagues trying to explain what should be Taekwondo, and I try something more easier. Taekwondo easier. Starting by what is tradition? And tradition, according to Oxford Dictionary, is a belief, like a faith, custom, like practice, or way, or spiritual way, for instance, in case of technology, of doing something that has been around for a long time within a particular group like us, of people. That's why we are here. Next, please. Then, according to this point of view, how can we define what is traditional Taekwondo? Traditional Taekwondo is a martial art at its most comprehensive and major level, and is purely connected to philosophy personal view of what the traditional Taekwondo is. Next, please. And then we need to talk how can traditional Taekwondo benefit mankind. Next, please. And then, this is very emotional for me because it's a testimony about my life. I'm not just talking about theoretically, but my life. And I should say that it's one of the most important moments of my life because I'm giving back for Taekwondo what Taekwondo made me. It's very emotional for me. This is a young boy with 6, 7 years, my young version. And I was I had attention deficiency hyperactivity, so never stop, always speaking and running and so much energy. And mood swings all the time. Mood swings, sometimes bad, sometimes good. So much energy is difficult to control. It is maybe involved in several fights since this age until my 15 in street fights and in school fights. This made me the expert for 10 different schools. 10 different schools my whole life. At the point that I gave up. I gave up my studies at that time. And I was a very smart kid, but without the strength. Then something very magic happened in my life called Taekwondo. Next, please. What happened to me when I started practice Taekwondo at the age of 15? Became more focused and mission driven, using my energy to train and become a better person. Treat well my parents, treat well the youngs, treat well my colleagues, and also my competitors as well. My mood fluctuation become more stable due to Taekwondo training. I trained a lot, I became a Taekwondo fighter, competitor. And no more fighting streets, because martial arts awareness. This is something I always teach my students. When you practice martial arts, you receive some kind of awareness. What you can do, what you can't do. Some kind of spiritual thing and psychological. And this is what I became. I became a Tokyo International Master. First of my region, Northeast Brazil. And as soon as I get home, I created a course and started doing teaching. Next, please. This is my Taekwondo career. But I also became Taekwondo professional. I represented Adidas Taekwondo for 12 years in Brazil in an exclusive way and created my own brand. My ex-wife is Taekwondo player as well, the mother of my twin kids. God gave me twin kids, 2 boys, 11 years. Then the guy that gave up to study and starts Taekwondo training, now finished business graduation in the best university, my place, MBA, master's, and also a PhD in business and international business studies. In this, I thank you Taekwondo and in its most traditional way. The discipline and lifelong Taekwondo students I am. Next, please. So, for our last question, and based on what you said, how to conserve traditional Taekwondo? First, training and investing in the master. I present all that also to conserve tradition of Taekwondo. The students as inheritors of masters' wisdom and experience, because the students once will become master, like a cycle, and mainly the society, by recognizing the true value of Taekwondo as a path to develop of better human beings. Next. Thank you.
Thank you, 사범님 레오나르도 반토아. Next one, 사범님 바쿠사키라 Michael from Uganda.
Good morning. I'm very happy to stand in front of you. As you heard my name, I'm Dr. Michael from Uganda. Actually, for me, my presentation is like an experiment that I did. When I remember about 12, 15 years back, as I finished my university as graduated as in sports science. There was a Korean organization called IYF. It was in our country. I was a volunteer there. Then they asked me if I can go to Kenya and train as a Taekwondo coach. So to me it was something strange because I didn't know about it, but eventually I accepted to go to Kenya. Actually, our country director told us that when you go there, you will come back to your country and also teach others Taekwondo. So that's when I went. That's where I met Master Kim, who was from Korea. I met him there in Kenya. Then I started to train Taekwondo. And now today we're talking about the traditional Taekwondo, which is connecting the world. As we're here, I didn't know about the country called Ruba. Yes, I met Mr. Moses. Yes, I met Mr. Moses. So I can see really Taekwondo is connecting the world as we're here to fellowship and to know how we can preserve the arts of Taekwondo, also empowering the next generation. Next. Yeah, actually, when Grandmaster generally brought the topics about Taekwondo, it really took me back to know where it started from. Usually, as you know, Taekwondo started from it was Taekwondo originated in the ancient Korean, rooted in martial arts practice. The Harang warriors were the warriors, the elite group, the noble warriors during the kingdom of Silla of the ancient Korea, who were brave, young, selected to defend their beliefs and serve the king. And these were trained in all aspects: combat, leadership, philosophy, civility, as we are all here because of this. I can see that the GTTF gathered us here to also defend these beliefs from our original ancestors. So this art combines physical power with mental discipline. This makes the holistic approach to personal development. Next, please. Yeah, as we have talked about the leadership, the philosophy, as you can see, the tenets of Taekwondo, consciously, integrity, self-control, and the eliminable spirit. Preserving Taekwondo tradition is very critical for mankind. It's the path to self-improvement, a long life journey for physical and mental growth. Ladies and gentlemen, as myself, I was this kind of a person who cannot stand in front of people. But through Taekwondo, now here I am, standing before you from people from different countries. Really, Taekwondo has transformed me, for sure. I'm very glad, and I thank Master Jun Lee for giving me this opportunity. Next, please. Yeah, my journey in Taekwondo, surely, as I had a heart to volunteer. Really, when I came back to Kenya, I was like, how can I teach this? How can I bring it to these people? But in my country, it was like selling ice in the winter season or selling sand in the desert. So it wasn't easy for me, but I thank the school where I went. There is a school for Nani. It's a girls' school. I explained to them what is all about Taekwondo, what can it do, and I volunteered to work for free. And the lady, she gave me a chance to work there. And there you can see, as I'm training the girls, not long enough, we went to the Korean Ambassador's Cup. As normally, you know, we hold these events in many countries. So the girls were able to win a trophy as the best female junior team in my country. So I saw that not only physical fitness, but Taekwondo can really transform and really make someone different. You can see the girls after the winning. Also, emotionally, Taekwondo builds self-esteem and focus. You know, most of us, we deal with kids, and some of you have children. They really have low level of concentration, and their focus is not really that good. But with Taekwondo, always, I tell them, when I ask them a question, everybody should have an answer. And I expect everybody to put up their hand, because in Taekwondo, every answer is right. Since it is the way of life, we just need to know where and how to apply that in our life. So, Taekwondo has really built leadership. I am a leader, as you can see. It's because of Taekwondo. Next, please. Yeah, the importance of preserving Taekwondo for the future, for the future generation. Like everything has been said, courage your heritage, innovation and evolution, global unity. We are here because of Taekwondo. and legacy, continuity. Next, please. Yeah, the conclusion, this is my last slide. Those are my friends who trained with me Taekwondo, but they are able to join the forces, the police, and they are given grants because of Taekwondo when they entered. They are given grants because of Taekwondo. So the life after Taekwondo is really continuing, and we're applying this in our daily life. Yeah, this is a school, the school that I talked about. The other girl, after winning on the Korean Pumse Challenge, the online Pumse Challenge, I saw that the girls loved it and they are winning medals. Actually, Taekwondo making leaders, and you cannot be a leader when you're not a champion, because a leader is at the top of others. They must be a champion. So Taekwondo is creating leaders. Where I come from, next please. Yeah, I was also awarded the best coach, standing with the Korean ambassadors when they invited me at the embassy. They appreciated and gave me a token, and you can see this is all about, this is because of Taekwondo. Okay, next please. Yeah, so for the Taekwondo, also there are some women organizations. They call me to give them the self-defense and fitness program. You can see they are very happy. And even this girl, they say we want to celebrate our birthday in Taekwondo uniform. So really Taekwondo has transformed lives and improving lives. Next. Yeah, we hold Taekwondo camps after school program because I saw that many students, kids, are at home playing video games, which are really disturbing their mind. So I create the Taekwondo camps, Taekwondo clinics. Yeah, as you can see, those are the camps, the trophies. Next. As a Taekwondo instructor, I really have a lot to do. As you can see, the time is running. Next, please. Yeah, this is the ambassador visited our Taekwondo gym. And last, yeah, this is my profile. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sabunin Pakusagira Michael. Next one, Sabunin Miro Rezan, Croatia.
Morning, everybody. I am Miros Compression from Croatia. Speaking about traditional Taekwondo is rich and impressive history. We're talking about your active lifetime. Recognize, master martial art development and come strategy of sport education, martial art development, martial sport aspect, and finally, etc. Education, martial sport development, it is committed aspect. every sport, every sport has his history. Taekwondo development of long time in Asia, Korea. Many pictures talking from history about technique and fighting technique like one piece. Global, it is in conflict size to years 1,400. About me, I was born 1951, and like teenager, I began training in 1968, long time before. Not like this. I am proud of my country, Croatia, because 1968, May 25, my foreign master, Parson J, coming to Zagreb, capital of Croatia, and make first demo Taekwondo. It is emblem, first emblem in Croatia. Croatia flag is red, white, and blue. Also, it is first demonstration you see 1968, but you must know Croatia history is very hard because we exist like Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was a socialist country, but we know diplomatic connection between South Korea and Yugoslavia, and we have many problems. And this demonstration was suspended first, but after few days, the government gave support and first time showed Taekwondo technique in Yugoslavia. It is picture for first demonstration in Croatia. First student. His first black belt to Croatia. And first team, national team. And we have, in hard time, we have very good time for organizing Croatia Taekwondo Federation. You see, it was founded 21 December 1971. First president was Mr. Josip Korban. You know that Taekwondo exists, the World Taekwondo Federation in Kukiron 1973. We have federation, official federation 1971. It was, you know, now Croatia is very strong competition country. We participate on many international tournaments and world championships, military championships, continental championships, Olympic Games. It is first as second world championships in Seoul, and our national team coming illegal. Not visa, not support of our country, Yugoslavia. After competition, we have big trouble in our country. It is big picture from second World Championships in Kukion. First team, 1975. It is our team in weight category and also drawing room. We thank you very much for development, for development Master Parson J, especially Grandmaster Lee Flambe, who live in Austria. He is also teacher of Norbert Mosch, Naidan. He introduced many Naidan in Europe. Okay. It is not so much interesting. Okay. It is mad. And we are not so many happy for World Taekwondo Day. You know, World Taekwondo Day is 28 May, because this time exists World Taekwondo Federation and Kukion. Okay. You see? Very impressive history of Croatia. It is our respect, it is traditional like sport. This time we have delegate of the World Taekwondo Federation. We participate on many world championships. And many Korean masters help us. Flag. We are proud of the old flag. When was President Moon Jae-in. It is development of Taekwondo. It is roots for Taekwondo. Of course, respect, all the respect Kukion. You see emblem and the flag of the World Taekwondo Federation. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Samunin, si Miro Brazen. Next, Samunin, di Hena Gulma, Mekonnen, Ethiopia.
Good morning, all. I want to salute everyone. So my name is Mr. Henok from Ethiopia, originally from Ethiopia. I'm not going to talk too much about what's GTTF. So this is my greeting to all of you. I have highest respect for all the grandmasters, the opportunity to be here as a GTTF representative of Ethiopia as well as Africa. Next. So I have lots of background about my grandfather who fought the Korean War. His name is Reconnecting. Next. So we have a very blood relationship with Korea. As you see, he was in Korea, fought for Korea. He's my immediate grandfather. Next. So we're gonna talk about what's traditional Taekwondo. Traditional Taekwondo is a Korean martial art which is physically combat and focusing equal to development of mind and character. So knowing this for its high, fast kick, powerful strike, and reverse stance, it also encompasses Fukse, Gravy, Osunso, Yoga, which is including meditation, which is one of the key. So the importance of traditional Taekwondo is works on mentally, morally, physically, and also academically. So we just need to understand that the traditional Taekwondo is the way to go, the way to life. Next. So we're all masters and grandmasters, and I can't explain this, what it means, courtesy, integrity, all this, self-control, the value of Taekwondo, why we're here, and also to go back to what is lost. So going back to the traditional, which we need to focus on. So traditional Taekwondo is where we should more focus to build our society, to make sure that what we pass is, what we give, we have to be an example, lead by example. Next. So how can we conserve the traditions of Taekwondo, which is explaining more in there. Maintaining traditional trainings, promoting ethical values, and then documenting knowledge, because most of us, if we don't document what we do, what we pass to the generation, it's going to be lost. So that's why we want to go back to the traditional how we were practicing back in the days, this body and discipline, focusing on our life. So that's why we call it the way of life. Next. So this is continuing, cultural, community, supporting the traditional organizations, all this good stuff that traditional Taekwondo has to pass to the generation. making sure we're not only teaching, but we need to give the value of teaching, why we teach them, and also passing the message to the students to become better in life, not only physical, but mentally, as well as academically, which is most of us, because of Taekwondo, we become, doctors and, studying and having popularity everywhere we go, and that's a very good advantage for us to show how we can become powerful wherever we go. Because everywhere I go, it could be in the military, even though I have a background of special forces, but you have acceptance by teaching the mythology of traditional Taekwondo, as well as who we are, can be represented as, martial art masters, because master means knowledge, honesty, and strength. That has to, be covered or passed through us, so we can have a better, generation in the future. Our target is to become really traditional, so we can be conservative, not losing the way we fight back in the days as well. Next. So the benefit is about being healthy. By practicing Taekwondo, we can be mentally healthy. We will have a very outstanding characters showing how we can become disciplined. So through Taekwondo, we can, teach the values, the respect, all this. I don't have to explain it because you guys want to. It's in you that we need to show that we are the top of, the leaders. And the leaders always give something that we have. So we have to make sure our students are better than us because we are already existing. So if we are existing, we should show that whoever is learning from us should be better than us. So the cultural understanding is we all have different cultures. That does not stop us being, to be united. So the community, the ethical guidance, all of the stuff is coming back because of traditional Taekwondo. So, so I really wanted to appreciate particularly the Labamba group. So if you know, the Labamba groups are very top of, the top, the leaders. So I wanted to appreciate and the opportunity to be part of this as an African. And Grandmaster Julie, I don't have words to thank him, but I want everybody to give him a very high, or respect, and it's an honor to be here to represent GTTF, and I want everybody to thank Grandmaster Julie for his support, for his dedication. I think we've been calling each other for 24 hours, so this is the way to go. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarvanyam Hena Gurma. Next one. There is no ski from Poland. Thank you.
Distinguished grandmasters and masters, dear colleagues and friends, I would like to show you how modern psychology can support tradition. There is no conflict between modern and tradition. If we use modern technology and modern techniques for that. There is slightly different presentation right now from this which you have in your booklets, because my creative process night before the presentation, so I always add some correctness or new ideas. These 2 apples is not my lunch. I will show you later on why I drink them. First of all, teach by own example. That sentence was very often repeated during our meetings, during our seminars. And I was lucky to meet great example by Grandmaster Lee Kyung-myung, who was my teacher for all my Taekwondo career. I met him first time during the World Championships in 1979 in Germany. I asked him to be my teacher, and he agreed, and first time he came to me in 1981. That started a very important journey for me, because that model showed me the way not only for Taekwondo, but also for my sports psychology career. Because I decided to be a sports psychologist because of Taekwondo, because of this kind of the model of the teacher, master, who not only teach techniques, but also teach how to be a better person, how to be a more efficient part of the society. I believe that theory is for practice, so without practice, theory is nothing. My view on sports psychology was built by my experience in Taekwondo as a player, as a teacher, as an international and Olympic referee. That built a practical approach for psychology. We have our personal computer here, not on the tables, not in our bags. Our personal computer is inside our head. 100 billion neurons, which create more than 2,000 connections with other nervous system cells. Great machine. And it's only between 1 and 2% of our total body weight, but it consumes 20% of the oxygen which we get, 30% of water we drink, and 40% of the food we eat. So, important thing we have here, and we should use it more efficiently. And the modern sports psychology can help us. There are some basic skills which we can teach masters, when we can teach our other teachers to become better masters, to become the persons who can restore traditional values of Taekwondo. These mental skills are the communication skills, how to communicate better, more efficiently, how to better teach by the communication. That's the concentration skills, which we can improve by the mental training strategies. That the skills of control over the arousal and over the emotions, which we can also practice and train by the mental training strategies, which comes to the fourth mental skill, which is confidence, which we need not only in our dojo, we need them to our whole life around us. Next one, please. From the communication, we are not so much aware that verbal communication, spoken words, are only 7% of the information we get. Tone of our voice, rhythm of our words is 38%, but 55% of communication we give to other people and we get from the other people is non-verbal communication, is our body language. Sometimes we forget about that. How it connects to traditional values, for example, if I come for the training with t-shirt, trousers, this is also very strong communication. But that communicate is, I don't care. But if I come with double belt with a dignity, that's a strong traditional communication. We should also be careful about the words, statements we do. We should practice within ourselves the positive forms to keep the positive attitude. So avoid the thoughts and statements which are showing negative perspective and put into them a positive perspective, like instead of saying, I don't want to lose, you can say, I want to win. We should also remember that we are very many tests which we have to do, but we can also transform them into the positive statements and positive perspective by saying, I want to do, not I have to do. You will find much more in the booklet because the time is limited, so I just concentrate on the most important things. Next, please. I will come back again to the non-verbal communication. It's not only uniform, it's also the surrounding around us, how we deal with our dojo. If we take care about the maps, about the walls, about the symbols of tradition in Taekwondo, that also is very strong non-verbal communication. And also, our guests, we call them in sports psychology the power guests. Like this kind of the gesture, this kind of the gesture. These are guests which shows power and energy. If I use this kind of the information, my student get it. He or she changed the mindset, going into stronger believer, going into a better mood. But also, if I use the strong posture, this also goes into me. I communicate with myself, starting to be more stronger, more powerful, more confident. Next important mental skill is, of course, concentration skill. Without concentration, we cannot achieve our goals. And that is a skill which, unfortunately, because of the modern technology like cell phones, smartphones, is dramatically dropping down. First of all, we can improve concentration skills by meditation and breathing techniques. We have the classes every day morning here. That's great. This is the most important tool to improve or to restore the concentration skills. Next one is task-oriented concentration and ability to shifting the attention. And now, I can explain why I need these two apples. Yes, sir. I need a volunteer to help me, please. One person. All right. I will show you the task. Notice what happened? You can learn more if you go for the Studying Tone page. There is a whole package with books, audio materials, which shows step by step what we can do more about the mental training strategies in our Taekwondo. Not only to improve the sportsmen, but improve ourselves to be better masters. Thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you, Simon Rose from Poland. Next, Setbaja Zurik from Mongolia.
네. 안녕하십니까. 제가 몽골 민축체육대학교의 스포츠 신들이 박사 조립입니다. 반갑습니다. 여러분들이 지금 한국 태권도 역사를 잘 아시니까 몽골에서는 태권도가 1992년도에 생겼습니다. 지금 몽골에서 제일 인기가 있는 스포츠가 태권도가 됐습니다. 얼마 전에 파리 올림픽에서 파라 태권도에서 몽골이 지금 금메달 하나,銀메달 하나 받았습니다. 더 인기가 많아져가지고 오늘 몽골에서 제일 많은 젊은 세대가 운동하는 스포츠가 태권도가 됐습니다. 그런데 문제는 그때 33년 전에 우리 시작하는 태권도하고 오늘 몽골에서 지금 발전하는 태권도가 지금 많은 방향이 좀 달라졌습니다. 무슨 뜻이냐면 태권도 발전이 많아지만 인구가 많아지지만 태권도 전통 문화가 좀 많이 없어졌어요. 태권도 예질, 태권도 문화, 처음에 태권도가 시작하는 그 모습이 좀 달라졌습니다. 앞으로 전 세계 모든 나라에서 태권도 국기원 모델을 지금 사무실 실전들 지금 만들었으면 우리 전통 태권도 협회에서 연구를 해서 이런 모델들이 좀 있었으면 얼마나 좋을 것 같은 생각입니다. 왜 그러면 많은 태권도 가족들이 여러 나라 가면은 제일 먼저 국기원이 어디 있는가, 몽골 국기원이 어디 있는가 이렇게 물어보면은 우리가 위치를 알아보고 바로 찾아갈 수 있는 그런 모델 있었으면 좋다고 제가 생각하고 있습니다. 아까 조금 전에 제가 말씀하는 대로 현재 스포츠 태권도가 이런 모양으로 지금 많이 변했습니다. 이거 우리가 70년 전에 태권도가 전통 태권도 시작하는 모양하고 지금 제가 볼 때는 조금 달라졌습니다. 이거는 어쩔 수 없이 스포츠 때문에 이럴 수가 있지만 몽골인 특히 태권도가 지금 비즈니스로 많이 발전하고 사람들이 젊은 세대는 태권도 문화 예질 역사를 지금 배우는 것부터 바로 교육, 전통 봉사 같은 건 몽골에서 요즘엔 많이 공부를 안 해가지고 애들이 바로 미다 때문에 교육 쪽으로 많이 지나가고 있습니다. 그러니까 앞으로 우리 글로벌 태권도 연맹에서 태권도 전통 동작들을 합쳐가지고 봉제를 다시 연구하면 어떠십니까? 생각입니다. 그리고 몽골도 지금 다른 나라들도 마찬가지 요즘에 태권도를 어른들하고 젊은 세대가 많이 운동합니다. 우리나라에서 특히 50대 이상의 태권도 운동하는 사람 한 사람도 없고 몽골에 지금 세벌 태권도는 지금 많이 가지고 부족한 상태입니다. 지금 태권도는 지금 전 세계 스포츠들 많은데 사람들한테 건강을 위해서 스트레칭 주는 스포츠가 뭐가 있습니까? 태권도밖에 없습니다. 사람들이 좀 연세가 되는 대로 농구, 축구, 배구 이런 스포츠는 좀 다치니까 많은 헬스도 좀 몸에 좀 그렇게 안전적으로 좀 위험하니까 앞으로 우리 사람들이 나이가 되신 대로 스트레칭이 건강에 제일 좋으니까 태권도로 운동할 수밖에 없다고 저는 생각하고 있습니다. 그리고 마지막으로 저는 몽골 민족제육대학교에서 지금 스포츠 진리 박사를 공부하고 우리 학교는 앞으로 전통 태권도 문화를 많이 연구를 하셔가지고 우리 글로벌 태권도 연맹하고 합쳐가지고 몽골에서 범죄 훈련센터를 지금 만들었으면 좋다고 생각을 하고 있습니다. 왜 그러면 몽골은 아주 시원한 나라, 여름에는 많은 나라가 너무 더워서 선수들이 좀 운동하기가 어려웠지만 몽골 때는 아주 날씨가 편하니까 여러분들 지금 몽골 우리 학교하고 합쳐가지고 태권도 범죄 훈련센터에 자주 들어오길 부탁합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Sagamnim, Professor Jorik from Mongolia. Next one, the Christopher Gala Sagamnim, Luxembourg.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and pleasure to be addressing you with this short presentation about Taekwondo today. When I think of traditional Taekwondo, I think of Taekwondo as originally intended since its inception. We have two basic components, at least from my perspective, being Taekwon on one side and Do on the other. Only for analysis purposes, because as you shall see, we are actually one. There's unity, like the Yang or Yin Yang. Taekwondo denotes a combat system using one's hands and feet as weapons, and this primarily for self-defense. Do refers to the way which goes beyond the combat system. It is a way of life which ventures into the realm of self-actualization. It gives us the tools we need to become decent human beings and the best possible version of ourselves. As a technical system, Taekwondo is traditionally composed of 5 elements, reminding us of the 5 elements of nature in Oriental philosophy, which may not be a coincidence. According to the book of teaching and learning Taekwondo, published in 2007, Qigong, Kumse, Kyorin, Kyokpa, and Hotensul constitute the 5 elements of the technique. As teachers, having traditional Taekwondo in our heart, we seek to teach these 5 elements in a balanced way. Unfortunately, several clubs nowadays focus primarily on either competitive sparring or competitive kumse, leaving the other elements behind. This is creating a distorted view of Taekwondo as a martial art. One cannot be very good at one aspect, but seriously deficient in all the others. Furthermore, Taekwondo is often criticized for not being complete or effective as a self-defense system. In our combat sport, we are not allowed to kick low and we are not allowed to punch at facing. So far as these are the 2 most likely things to happen in real-life violence, we have to acknowledge that indeed our competitive sparring may not be enough or sufficient for self-defense purposes. To my mind, self-defense training, being at the essence of all martial arts, should be taken seriously and not limited to a few drills we practice from time to time whenever a level promotion test or a demo event is coming our way. For example, yesterday we saw a very good example of how we can combine Kumse movement and Kyorin movement and create a very effective self-defense system. Next thing. We come now to the Do element, which also features in number 5. In fact, the Do element is essentially represented by the 5 virtues of Taekwondo, which make up the Taekwondo spirit. By the way, these 5 virtues are, you can find them in the latest edition of the Ukiwon Taekwondo. I have recently shifted to these 5 virtues because they come from Ukiwon, and before I used, like everybody else, the 5 tenets, which I think is from the IDF. Hooki and Honki refer to the basic concepts to which these
virtues are attached. Huki refers to the concept of overcoming oneself. That is one's ability to control one's emotions or tendencies, which may obstruct the accomplishment of goals. Honki refers to the concept of humanitarianism. That is to say, one's ability to act in a way which is deemed beneficial to mankind, or as I like to put it, one's ability to act in the interests of the common good. The virtues of perseverance and courage, Ine Yongi, are linked to, for example, to perseverance to stick to our training plans, no matter how tired we may feel. Through courage, we overcome our fears when facing difficult tasks or difficult opponents in non-cooperative exercises like sparring. Justice and volunteering, Hongui and Mongsa, on the other hand, are linked to Honki, so far as they relate to acting in the common good, rather than for personal gain or development. Courtesy, Yui, is linked to both Huki and Honki. It is linked to Huki insofar as one disciplines oneself to be humble. It is linked to Honki insofar as one is recognizing and respecting others. These virtues are interrelated and often sustain each other for the development of a sound personality. Having one but not the other may not be enough. For example, one could have a good sense of what constitutes justice or righteousness, but then lacks the courage to implement it. To see what is right and to do it, and not to do it, is want of courage. This is not my saying. This is a wise philosopher, Chinese philosopher, around 500 BC, Confucius. Yeah? These five virtues linked to the five elements constituting the Taekwondo technical system are what to my mind constitute traditional Taekwondo. Next week. Now, how do we conserve the traditions of Taekwondo? First and foremost, we have to ensure that in our dojang, the traditional rituals of respect are duly observed. Through these rituals, we manifest respect towards the dojang, the martial art, Korea is its country of origin, and our own country. We also manifest respect to each other as master and student, or as fellow practitioners. We train in doboks and barefooted as far as we can. Secondly, we adopt a holistic approach in our training. As I have already pointed out, we have to teach Taekwondo in a balanced way. To my mind, even competitors at elite level can maintain a good level in all of the constituent elements of Taekwondo. And at this point I ask the question, is it too hard or is it that hard for an elite competitor to attend a traditional class every fortnight, for example, or every 3 weeks? Is it that impossible? Third, we teach traditional virtues. Not only formally by explaining them, but also, more importantly, by example. We are role models, we have to act in that way. Fourthly, we teach the philosophical meaning behind each concept. Such knowledge fosters the student's capacity to appreciate better Taekwondo spirit. Fifthly, we hold public events showing Taekwondo as a complete martial art. Awareness brings appreciation, and appreciation brings further development. Two other very important forms of conservation are education and collaboration. With continuous education, I refer to the education of ourselves as teachers. Apart from the regular updates you seek to learn on the technical level, we should also ensure to have adequate knowledge of Taekwondo's history and philosophy. To this end, we have to do our utmost to keep on learning through self-teaching. For example, see the book designer and the hardware. As teachers, we should not only be capable of teaching the correct performance of the technical forms, but we should also have the knowledge to teach the meaning of each of the 8 trigrams and how they are reflected in the technical forms themselves. And with that, we have the Tongji ideology, which is also reflected in the technical forms, the heaven, earth, and human being connection. When we come to collaboration, collaborating with other masters and organizations is another way of learning and conserving the traditions of Taekwondo. International affiliations and global events, such as this one, are of paramount importance in that they enable us to share our views and perspectives on ways of conserving, as well as developing and disseminating traditional Taekwondo methods and principles. They also motivate us to pursue with greater enthusiasm our common goals. Let us now consider the benefits to mankind. From the physical and mental perspectives, I don't think I need to read out each and every benefit Taekwondo offers to its practitioners. It may be enough to just say that this practice is tantamount to doing several sport and wellness disciplines in one. It ensures our physical and mental health in a comprehensive way. Particularly as traditional Taekwondo, we can keep on practicing several aspects of it till very old age and till we die. Next, please. Two other important benefits are ethical and moral development, as well as social cohesion and global connection. Starting from the latter, the common goals we seek promote team building and social cohesion. Global connections such as ours promote cultural enrichment not only through learning more about Korean culture, but also through learning from each other's respective culture and way of life. Ethical and moral development is an important benefit which is very much associated with traditional Taekwondo. Through our practice and in line with the 5 virtues, we all learn and teach our students to be respectful, fair, and honest. We promote honor, loyalty, and benevolence, qualities which unfortunately seem to be subject to constant attack in our modern world. For sure, this is where traditional Taekwondo has a treasure to offer to mankind. To my mind, this is a very honorable side of traditional Taekwondo, which blends perfectly well with the powerful skills we practice and teach for combat or self-defense purposes. We promote bravery and effective combat skills on one side, and we promote discipline and respect on the other. Two important components which balance each other out. The idea of these two components constituting the essence of martial arts has always been my conviction and my motivation for practice. I have in fact written a book on the subject wherein I equate these two components with the yin-yang symbol, or the and the yang of the Mudo spirit. The main message of the book is summarized in this quote: martial arts is about being brave and skillful in self-defense or combat situations. It is also about being humble, disciplined, and respectful. One completes the other, just like yin completes yang, and yang completes yin. I think that this quote resonates well with what we should be seeking from Taekwondo as a traditional martial art. Next slide. As a final note, I wish to acknowledge my sources for the purposes of this short presentation, being the Book of Learning and Teaching Taekwondo, as well as the 2Q1 textbook, particularly the last edition, which I recommend to all Taekwondo masters and practitioners to have. I thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Sabanim Vayala. Next one, Sabanim Abesemratol, India, USA.
What is traditional Taekwondo? I'm skipping a little bit because lots of things are repeated. It's on and on. So philosophically, Taekwondo is grounded in the idea that the ultimate goal of life is self-mastery and the cultivation of virtues that transcend individual desires. This echoes the idea in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is one of the oldest scripture contest, Taekwondo can be seen as a path that cultivates harmony between the individual and the divine, where the ultimate aim is not only mastery over oneself, but alignment with the higher moral purpose. How to conserve the tradition of Taekwondo? Conserving the tradition of Taekwondo involves preserving its deep philosophical roots, which have been passed down through generations. To fully appreciate Taekwondo's value, it is essential to uphold its ethical and spiritual dimensions. Like any spiritual discipline, it must be treated not just as a set of physical techniques, but as a way of life. One important philosophical concept that can help conserve Taekwondo's tradition is Do, or the way. As understood in Eastern philosophy, the Do represents the underlying natural order of the universe, one that must be aligned with to live a life of harmony and balance. In Taekwondo, the students are encouraged to follow their own Do by practicing not only physical techniques, but also virtues that bring them in tune with the nature order. In this mirror, in the Shiva Bible, which encouraged humanity to recognize the oneness of all beings and the common cause that links them. In both philosophies, preserving tradition involves the commitment to not only individual progress, but also fostering a sense of unity with all of creation. Instructors should be continuing to emphasize this teaching in their training, ensuring that the ethical and spiritual traditions remain alive. Additionally, the Srimad Bhagavatam speaks to the need of despiritualization society by instilling divine principles in everyday life. Likewise, Taekwondo should be taught not just as a sport, but as a means of despiritualizing individuals, helping them to live with greater awareness of their moral responsibilities, themselves and others. Next, please. How can traditional Taekwondo benefit mankind? Traditional Taekwondo offers deep philosophical benefits of humanity that go beyond the physical. It encourages the pursuit of inner peace and moral strength, which is essential for building harmonious society, drawing from Eastern philosophies and the teachings of the scriptures. Taekwondo helps individuals realize their interconnectedness with others and the universe. Self-realization, the central philosophy of Taekwondo emphasizes the development of self through continuous practice and discipline. This reflects the broader spiritual concept of self-realization found in many traditions, where individuals seek to understand their true nature beyond the ego. Of this, in the terms of recognizing one's relationship with the divine and working towards the perfection of the human condition. Similarity, Taekwondo fosters a journey of self-discovery and mastery that align the practitioner with universal truths, ethical leadership, and social harmony. Both Taekwondo and the scripture emphasize the importance of living by a moral code, by modern virtues like respect, self-control, and perseverance. Taekwondo practitioners become ethical leaders in the society. This reflects the dharmic principle of Indian philosophy, which encouraged individuals to live righteously in alignment with cosmic order. The idea is the personal discipline harmony, a concept taught in the Bhagavatam, which teaches that ethical living is essential for social peace. Precedence through action in both Taekwondo and spiritual philosophies like those found in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, there is an emphasis on disciplined action. Taekwondo teaches that with mastering good physical techniques and adhering to ethical principles, one can consider the limitations to the self and contribute to the greater good. This is similar to the concept of karma yoga, where action done selflessly in service of others become a means to spiritual liberation. Spiritual and ethical unity. Taekwondo promotes unity between body, mind, and spirit, promotes the spiritual oneness and the idea of common cause. The moral principles of Taekwondo, like courtesy, integrity, lead to the development of compassionate and just society. When individuals act with awareness of their spiritual connection to others, as both Taekwondo teach, to contribute to a greater good of humanity. In this way, traditional Taekwondo serves as a method for improving both individual and social well-being by cultivating self-mastery, compassion, and ethical living. Practitioners can contribute to a more peaceful and unified world. Next, please. The disparity in human society often stems from the absence of guiding principles in a godless civilization. When fundamental ethical and moral values are not upheld or emphasized, it can lead to imbalance and disorder within communities. In this regard, the presence of a higher moral compass and divine guidance is often viewed as essential in establishing harmonious and just societies. From a spiritual perspective, the belief in a constant entity, a supreme being or God, is deeply ingrained in various religious and philosophical traditions. It is often recognized as the source from which everything emanates, and by whom everything is maintained. This acknowledgement serves not just as a religious notion, but as a foundation principle that seeks to inspire reverence, compassion, and sense of interconnectedness among humanity. One approach to addressing the disparity and establishing moral principles and rightness, civilization, is though discipline, such as Taekwondo. Taekwondo, a traditional Korean martial art, offers a multiplicated approach to personal development, emphasizing mental fortitude, physical strength, and ethical conduct. By learning Taekwondo, individuals can cultivate discipline, respect, and integrity within themselves, which can translate into their interaction with others and contribute to a more peaceful society. Furthermore, the practice of Taekwondo can be seen as a means to protect and establish principles that are conducive to relief, rightness, and peaceful coexistence. It instills values such as perseverance, self-control, and endowment of spirit, which is essential in navigating challenges with integrity and grace. Moreover, the concept of loving God within the context emphasizes a selfless and compassionate approach to living, one that prioritizes kindness, empathy, and service to others and embodiment of spiritual principles. In a sense, the integration of discipline like Taekwondo, coupled with the spiritual foundation that fuels the divine, represent an earnest endeavor to foster a society where individuals strive to live harmoniously and uphold righteous values. By uniting the teachings of Taekwondo and recognizing the divine essence from which everything emanates, it is possible to cultivate a collective consciousness that is dedicated to upholding principles that nurture compassion, justice, and harmony within human civilization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saponim. Saponim Guy Jones Allen.
Good morning. I know it's been a rough morning so far, so thank you very much. Reaching the future through the past is a verse from an Irish song. But to add a positive and forward thinking, I named this presentation, Reaching the Future Through Tradition. Invigorating and fascinating is the journey of Taekwondo from its humble beginning in 1944 till our contemporary day, despite the complexity of challenges that the art faced since its inception. It quickly found its prominence when on numerous occasions during the bleak time of the Korean War, hand-to-hand combat was applied. Fortunate among us are those who learned the art from the founders. Most of us are less fortunate, and therefore, when the guidance was lacking, the art got diluted to an alarming point. Those of us who research and study to deepen their knowledge agree with this goal. Realizing the truth of our art is a lifelong pursuit. Therefore, I put before you, distinguished members of this forum, these few thoughts. To help in our quest for the truth, to pass on this knowledge to the next generations. Unfortunately, there are signs of disconnect, and discontent are widely visible. Once in the furthest memory of our Taekwondo was whole. Our Taekwondo was whole. All components of our art were cohesive and blended and complemented each other with the sole aim to create the perfect fighter or the perfect warrior. Back then, there was no players, but only fighters. Back then, our sabo and teachers were head instructors, not coaches. We trained the mind to recognize danger and trained the body to respond swiftly with accuracy, power, balance, and breathing control. We trained the mind and body on values stemming from the strength that emanates directly from the Korean culture and communicated this powerful image across the 5 continents. So when mind and body are together, nothing is impossible. That has become our motto. Today, the disconnect is deeply rooted and is affecting every aspect of our practice. The curriculum is not cohesive. Kumse is no longer the foundation of Hoshin. Our fundamental and basic Kiwon bear no resemblance to the techniques used in Spark. And it all went from being one comprehensive curriculum rich with its interrelated components to become a fragmented and disconnected and unrelated syllabus, such as what you see right now. As a result, Taekwondo moved from being the multifaceted art that it once was, a strong friend, a true martial artist, once said to me that he decided to suffer from low revenue because of dwindling number of students rather than adopting the new ways of teaching Taekwondo. This testimony expresses the dilemma we face today. On one hand, we have students leaving because of the training is too hard. On the other, we have students leaving the soft Taekwondo and migrating to Hapkido, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga, Kyokushin, or MMA. Taekwondo is suffering from its own success. This global expansion and race to pull and attract more was indeed watered down the martial art aspect of it. If it wasn't for trying to satisfy the business side of Taekwondo, what else did we create the tight outfits or the new tops for beach Taekwondo? All these are contributors to the distortion of the image Taekwondo is as a martial art. Yes, yesterday, Dr. Lee praised Yopchak as the most beautiful and efficient kick. Where is it today? Where is the transfer of power in mobility or the strength in chambering? Gone. My cousin drove 7 hours from Montreal to Madison Square in New York in 1993 to attend the World Championship, nothing but to observe, take notes of the techniques performed by great fighters, as opposed to today, where there are more people looking at their phones than those watching the fights. That is in theory. How about Kumse? The same. After a Taekwondo beach competition, the referee congratulated the gold medalist one year. And asked how many years of practice had you? And she replied, 1 year. Big surprise. Time to get a black belt first dan to clinch a gold, following the advice of her ballet coach, who was guiding her to Taekwondo as she stood. She stood better chances to succeed. So the loss of tradition is not affecting theory only, but it has compromised the essence of Kumse too. Performing Kumse with the correct choreography and tempo may secure a medal, but not a strong foundation in martial arts. And then you read the comments on any video of the 80s and 90s fights on social media. We realize how nostalgic the majority of masters from around the world are for the old glorious days of Taekwondo. But dear masters, colleagues, and friends, there is a massive difference between being reminiscent of the good old days and being able to produce change. From my experience as president of an independent martial arts entity, I can assure you that change can be made. Since the formation of an executive board of experts, we changed the rules and worked on qualifying top referees, and were successful in delivering 96 Kumse and Kirui championships since 2016. It is not a drift from the national governing body of our making. We did not do that. In some European countries, if you are not affiliated to the federation, you cannot advertise yourself as a Taekwondo master. It looked like they had a monopoly or an exclusivity on using the name Taekwondo. We stopped using the name of Taekwondo, and we asked, when we are asked, we say, we do some more. We know, and I am sure you share with me the same thoughts, that Taekwondo can be salvaged. And the only way for it to come back is through the preservation of its tradition. There are values coded and embedded in traditional Taekwondo that are hugely beneficial for society. The simple gestures of respect, such as bowing when entering the dojo, bow in respect to the flag, addressing your superiors with dignity and respect and resilience, is also there. One great example in the USA. The outstanding benefits of Taekwondo were applied in the curriculum of one of the high schools that serves as a hub for Yale, Princeton, and Harvard in the US. It incorporated from primary to secondary Taekwondo because it teaches moral values, competitiveness, and resilience that endows the achievers of tomorrow. I look forward to put words to deeds and set things in motion. Perhaps a memorandum of cooperation between our two organizations will pave the way for all the others to unite under your auspices, Grandmaster Lee. Thank you, Grandmaster Lee, for this great initiative, and I bow in respect in the presence of this mass of expertise present in this auditorium.
Thank you, Father.
With you, the multifacets of our Taekwondo will be like a diamond glowing in splendor for generations to come. In Irish, Gorefli Mahal Kamzamina.
Next, Koleana Kiloako from Tanzania. This is the last one. These are the individuals who submitted their PPT and also application more than a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. So anybody who submitted later than this, you may have opportunity next year. Thank you.
My name is Horacio William from Tanzania. Let me go straight to the point. What is traditional taekwondo? Traditional taekwondo is a Korean martial art known as for its emphasis on discipline, physical fitness, self-defense, and character building. It focuses on traditional forms, pose, techniques, and values passed down through generations. The origins of traditional taekwondo is rooted in ancient Korean martial arts like Taekwondo. So, traditional taekwondo focuses more on self-defense, techniques, philosophical teachings, and pose, while modern taekwondo has a stronger emphasis on competition and sports. The term traditional taekwondo, also sometimes called classical taekwondo, classic taekwondo, generally refers to the oldest form of taekwondo, practiced primarily by the South Korean military. This style of taekwondo predates even the name taekwondo, and really represents an amount of martial arts styles practiced by the 9 clans. Taekwondo clans refer to the original schools or styles, which would later be called taekwondo. They were developed after World War II in South Korea. Each one had its own unique approach to training and techniques. The ones played a significant role in the development and standardization of modern taekwondo. Now let us look at the ones before Korean War. So, because without talking about the ones, you are not talking about the traditional taekwondo. So these first 5 schools were started after the World War II. But before the Korean War, these are the 5 forms. So we have Songwon Kwan, founded March 11, 1944 by Roh Myung-ki. We have Chung Do Kwan, founded in 1944 by Lee Won-kyu. He studied Taekwondo in a group Pyongyang, Seoul. And then we have Mo Do Kwan, founded after 1946 by Han Won-ki. He studied Taekwondo. And also Chang Won-kwan, founded in 1946 by Yong Yu-ping. The last one is Hiro Kwan, founded March 1946 by Hiro Sang-tu. So these are the original
5 points, whereby when you talk about traditional taekwondo, you should not forget talking about these 5 points. Later, developed the 4 points, which are considered annex ones, since they were all the lines from one of the 5 area points. So we have the handbook one, founded in August 1954 by Lee Jong-hong as an offshoot of the Yumo Kwan, the Jiro Kwan. Also we have Hodo Kwan, founded in 1955 by Chong Ho-king, left here, and Chong Ho-kyo as an offshoot of the Jumbo Kwan. And the third one is Kangdu Kwan, founded in 1956 by Park Chung-heng and Ho Song-yuk as an offshoot of the Kwan by Wu Chang-ho Kwan. So the fourth one is Yugo Kwan, founded in 1956 by Lee Jong-hong, who died in August 2006 as an offshoot of the Yugo Kwan. So all these ones, when you talk about traditional taekwondo, you should not forget about talking about these 9 Kwans. So, look, the ones laying the foundation for what will eventually become modern taekwondo. Over time, these individual styles were united, unified, and standardized into single martial art we recognize today as taekwondo. The ones. Now, but how does this relate to today? The ones united in 1955, they tested in the beginning of 1957. The name Taekwondo was adopted by several Korean martial arts masters for its similarity to the name in Kyon. So you can read more in Nota 20. The Private Korean Taekwondo Associations founded today are the Korean Taekwondo Association, KTA, the International Taekwondo Federation, ITF, and the World Taekwondo Federation, WTF, the so-called World Taekwondo. Now, let's go to the second question. How do we conserve traditional taekwondo? One is through education and awareness. Masters should teach the historical and philosophical aspects of traditional taekwondo in taekwondo schools. In our schools, in our dojans, all masters are supposed to teach the historical and philosophical aspects of traditional taekwondo so as to preserve traditional taekwondo. Also, to conduct seminars and workshops, educate students and instructors about the importance of traditional taekwondo techniques. Not only that, but emphasize the traditional pumse during training, you train the original techniques and meanings. The original techniques and meanings of traditional taekwondo will be only reached through pumse. That's where now we get the original techniques and meanings. Also, by promoting cross-generational teaching, to encourage senior masters to pass down knowledge to younger generations to retain the authenticity of martial arts. So all the senior masters are the ones that are going now to pass the knowledge to the younger generations. It seems nowadays there's a problem with this one. The older generation and the current generation, there's a big gap. Why? There's a problem in passing the knowledge and the skills and everything from the traditional to the modern taekwondo. Also, through cultural events and competitions. By organizing cultural exhibitions and traditional taekwondo competitions, maintain the art legacy. Not only that, but also that building Korean traditional sports centers or dojans, which will focus more on traditional Taekwondo trainings. The other one is through digital documentation. Through the use of digital platforms to document and archive training techniques, history, and knowledge for the future generation. How can traditional Taekwondo benefit mankind? One of them is crime prevention. Through self-discipline and self-control, individuals trained in traditional Taekwondo are less likely to engage in violent behavior or criminal activities. These can contribute to safer communities. But also through youth moral development. Traditional Taekwondo offers a structured environment for young people to learn discipline, respect, and teamwork. It serves as a positive outlet for NAD, steering them away from negative influences. Because most of our youth nowadays are very much influenced by peer pressure. So this is the only way, traditional Taekwondo is the only way that we can have them, so it will be a better people in our communities. Also through global connection. Once practiced globally, traditional Taekwondo, once practiced globally, it will create a global community of practitioners. This has bridged cultural gaps, fostering international understanding and peace through a shared discipline. Another one is job creation. Traditional Taekwondo schools, clubs, and academies create employment opportunities for instructors, administrators, and support staff. To conclude, traditional Taekwondo is not only a martial art, but way to contribute to personal development, community well-being, and economic growth. I encourage each of you to consider how you can engage with this tradition, whether through practice, support, or spreading its positive values. Together, we can harness its potential to benefit individuals and society as a whole. Thank you for your attention, and God bless you all.
All the speakers to be coming forward.
One announcement. Yesterday, Grandmaster Lee appointed a number of individuals to represent each region for North America, South America, the Middle East, for you to give names to each of those individuals who you feel should be the official representative of GTTF for those regions. You have to give those names to us today so we can make the announcement tomorrow.
الأخوة العرب من الإنجليز ومن شمال أفريقيا، إذا في حدا حابب يرشح نفسه يكون هو ضابط الاتصال مع كل يعني يكون ممثل الاتحاد العربي أو المجموعة العربية، فيرشح نفسه حتى أنه نقدر نعمل بحث أسماء حتى يختاروا شخص من الممثلين.
My chairs are here.
personas que están aquí, que representan a South America, a Sudamérica y al Caribe, deben enviarme a mí los nombres, cada uno de ellos el nombre de quien ellos consideran que debe representar a Sudamérica y el Caribe. The ones out here from South America and the Caribbean have to send me text by WhatsApp in reference to the name of the person who they want to send the video. That means South America.
Yes.
La razón por la cual también lo dije en inglés porque hay personas del Caribe y Sudamérica que no hablan español.
Now we're going to have question and answer period. So, if you have a question, raise your hand and I will come to you with the microphone. Yes. And then you can identify specifically which speaker you have a question to. Okay? So, raise your hand, please, and I will come to you.
Okay. Good morning. The people from Asia.
Good day, representatives, Lemon County from South Africa. While the presentations have been done, a question came to mind, and anyone who can answer it is more than willing to answer my idea or my question. The problem we are facing internationally, specifically in South Africa, and on behalf of some of the African countries I've spoken to, is that there's a huge gap in the marketing of Taekwondo. And I didn't see it materialize through the presentations. We are facing with challenges in national federations, and if you compare Taekwondo with other sports, sporting codes, we are neglected by our governments and the sports associations. And that is one huge concern in how to get Taekwondo, because we can work our behinds off by promoting. And we had the Mashikani Games in South Africa since 1992, when Mandela was inaugurated as president. So if anybody can answer the question of how to market Taekwondo better, so that we can get more players to join the sport. Thank you.
So it's open to anyone. How can we market Taekwondo better to increase Grandmaster Kamala? The microphone, please.
Thank you for the question. It's a very valid question. Actually, to market any sport, you need a product. Or to market anything, you need a good product, valuable product to market it, to make it like a noise or valuable to make exposure out of it. So Taekwondo, since it's become an Olympic sport, it becomes already a valuable sport, it becomes really well known in the worldwide, so it's very marketed already. However, in our traditional Taekwondo, if you want to market a club, you need to make your club in a way of self-defense. You have to make a good product in self-defense or breaking or onse or whatever subject you have. If you make a really good, valuable product, which I mean product in terms of quality, in terms of high performance, so I think it will already, with more advertising, it will bring more valuable people to that sport and to make it more valuable for you as a business. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Grandmaster Kamala. When you ask your question, please be very clear and succinct. 30 seconds to 45 seconds to ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeff Nunez from the USA. My question is, in the big umbrella of the organizational structure of Taekwondo, where does GTTF fall into? And would, let's say, rankings and testings in GTTF be considered valid in others as well, including Pokemon? Thank you.
So who would like to answer this question? Grandmaster Z, perhaps?
We are a growing organization that will be supporting our Taekwondo Mother Pokemon. At the same time, we're going to continue to provide the certification ranking and preserving the traditional Taekwondo values, something that our existing Taekwondo organization is not able to embrace. So we're going to be supporting a strong and Taekwondo organization. Perhaps I do not want to compare our GTTF with any other existing ones, and we can cooperate with them. But definitely for last 1 year, we grew into 132 countries. But I do believe our GTTF has a larger membership than any other ones internationally.
Okay, not yet, just 1 second. This gentleman was first, then you're next.
My question is about this collective consciousness. Somebody spoke about the collective consciousness. Is there any scientific research done for the students of Taekwondo? The collective consciousness is created while doing your Taekwondo. Because the collective consciousness comes through the meditation of transcendental meditation, is a consciousness-based meditation, the only one, which talks about the concentration and consciousness and the states of consciousness. I mean, we got about 7 states of consciousness, which is spoken by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi worldwide. At the same time, now the research has gone beyond, and what we talk about, the world peace and all this, it comes through the consciousness, collective consciousness. So I would like to know, is there any kind of scientific research has been done by you people? I would like to know this, because I am into research work on consciousness-based meditations. Thank you.
Yes, Doctor.
In the 1980s, there were quite a lot of researches made on transcendental meditation in sport. And they were mostly directed into the development of the sport excellence through the meditation. There were some attempts also about what you asked about the consciousness, the group consciousness, but I am not aware about nowadays situation. So I know in 1980s quite a lot of researchers from transcendental meditation impact in sport.
Thank you, Doctor.
My name is Ali from Sudan. I have 2 questions. Salam alaikum. My first question for Mr. Samuel. Do you think the sport Taekwondo can affect the value of traditional Taekwondo? This is my first question. My second question for Mr. Rene. How traditional Taekwondo can keep the values, especially now there's huge development in technology, in training methods, and also the kids' mindset is a bit different. How you can keep the tradition of Taekwondo? Because they have certain structure. But the kids and the young generation, their mindset is so totally different, and technology and everything first thing, how you can keep the value of tradition. Thank you.
استاذ علي بعيد السؤال بس تبع الاول الجزء الاول. part.
My question is, do you think the sport taekwondo can damage the value of traditional taekwondo? No, not at all. Not at all. They can work together. Not at all. Yeah, it should be together. We should have understanding between both, and we should revive the traditional taekwondo. We don't need to. We are not against the sport taekwondo. Actually, we are all like with the sport taekwondo, but we have to revive the traditional taekwondo.
For the second part of the question, I think you were referring to how is technology going to be able to provide a platform for traditional Taekwondo, is that correct?
About how to keep the value of traditional taekwondo, while now all the world have development in technology, for example in Wi-Fi, in judging, and also in flows, and the key mindset get developed different from the young, from the old generation.
I believe that with the application of using technology to get to certain locations where it's impossible, very difficult for instructors to get to. For example, in the Oceania region, we have a very diverse region, and through the use of applications of technology, we're going to be able to extend and produce more Taekwondo education out there. And on our education platforms, we should be looking at using and teaching more traditional disciplines rather than the sports components.
Coming back to the first part of your question, there is no conflict between traditional Taekwondo and sport Taekwondo if we look at this as a long life journey. Because sport Taekwondo, especially if we look into the theory, the career of the sportsman lasts between 10 till 15 years. But you can practice Taekwondo all life long. So there is a lot of space for the traditional Taekwondo to be incorporated into the post-sport career of these people who are at this moment interested in sport. But that's our role to show them that they can do that. Thank you.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My name is Muhammad from City. So I'm going to master Islam.
If you want to ask in Arabic, I can translate.
هلا من وجود الاتحادات الموجودة المستحدثة والقديمة، إنه إحنا صار اتحادات كثير تابعة على WC أو تيكون أو ما شابه. شو الطريقة اللي إحنا نقدر نقوي اتحادنا فيه أو نشرف عدد كبير من الناس خاصة المدربين في تطوير الاتحاد؟ شكرا.
The question is, there is a lot of associations nowadays for taekwondo, and the question from Mr. Satouf is how to make the GTTF like a stronger association and to have more people involved in this association. So I will leave this to another of my colleagues that they can help in that.
Actually, most of the questions are coming between new, old, tradition in sport. But if you see, there's nothing new. It's Taekwondo. And we're just trying to preserve the goodness of Taekwondo. Sports is actually satisfying individual people and giving them individually everything, self-confidence and whatever. But that person is part of the society. The collective, combining together, we are focusing more to the society and as yoga teacher was talking about consciousness, this is what we're trying to bring it back, the high values, consciousness, and the traditions. Bring back to the Taekwondo, nothing to fight with other organizations, nothing to do with actually other organizations. If somebody willing to do something, if you want to compete in Olympics, of course, it's good. You go and compete, this is their choice.
ثاني من اتحاد الجلوبال تراديشنال تايكوندو، لكن في نواحي مفقودة من الناحية الرياضية، هي النواحي الفكرية والنواحي اللي فيها جانب نفسي أكثر، وما تكون فقط إنه رياضة. لكن ما بنعرف إنه بالعكس يكون لاعب يشارك في الأولمبيكس أو يشارك في البطولة، بالعكس شيء ممتاز، لكن إحنا لازم ناخذ الجوانب المفقودة بالتايكوندو، خصوصا مع تطور التايكوندو بشكل كبير من الألعاب الأولمبية أو الرياضة. أصبح من الضرورة إنه ننظر في النواحي الثانية الغير رياضية لتطوير التايكوندو عالميا ويكون في تطور فيها. شكرا.
Hello, good morning. This question is for everybody. My name is Reconnecting from the USA. One of the things we heard today from all the speakers was, what is traditional Taekwondo? But history has taught us that anything that's inflexible will lose its popularity eventually. What ideas do you bring in to keep, future generations attractive to practice traditional Taekwondo and keep them interested?
Anyone have any feedback on that? What are we doing to encourage continuing practicing Taekwondo so it's not static, but it's more dynamic?
I think with the situation is, and I'm obviously very pro-traditional Taekwondo, but I've seen how sports Taekwondo has changed, and because at the end of the day, athletes are chasing points to chase medals, which comes back to our friend from South Africa, where the government funding will come through from medal acquisitions. But my belief is to maintain traditional values, we need to establish that at the grassroots level. And that will also increase the opportunity for more participants in the sport. If you can get it down into the grassroots level and instill the values that we have, and the techniques, the traditional techniques that we have at grassroots levels, and that will continue to go through as those people progress into senior athlete or senior Taekwondo practitioners.
Yeah, I'm from the Philippines. I do have a question. This is for GTTF as a whole. This is very sensitive. I would like to know if GTTF can be a bridge between WT and Kultuan, because there's like there's some gap between how things are being done, especially in Pumse. In my country alone, Pumse players doesn't do Kirugi anymore, and Pumse players doesn't know what's the purpose of the blocks and the kicks. They just do Pumse just for sport. And this is what's going on with Taekwondo, especially in WT competitions. It's no longer the Taekwondo I've known before. It's kind of very new. I mean, everyone is using the front leg without purpose at all. And in self-defense, it has no purpose, even in the streets. Thank you.
Anyone want to take that? Dr. Yunus?
Thank you. I believe the answer is in rather working on reconsolidating and tying all the different aspects of Taekwondo together back into this oneness of Taekwondo. In my opinion, it starts with the syllabus. We have to rewrite the syllabus and actually probably a proposal for the future in terms of holding instructor seminars where this curriculum will be introduced and tied up all our thoughts together, and that we have amazing expertise in the room here. And I believe that if we have the right recommendations, we can achieve that as a group, as GT.
Good question. I think, in my opinion, I don't speak for GTTF because GTTF is just commenced, and I'm sure the policies will develop in time. But as I see it, as traditional Taekwondo masters, we see Pumse in a different way than it is seen at WT competition level. Like you very well said, they are not really interested in how techniques are applied in self-defense. I think that is what is most important for us as traditional martial artists. We're not interested in seeing like these split kicks and even these rules which I don't understand, that you have to go to your foot, and all that stuff. I mean, we are not interested in fantastic exhibitions, we are interested in how the technique is actually applied in real self-defense situations. That's at least my perspective, and I would want that to be developed also in our federation.
Thank you so much. We have time-wise, I have our master and grandmaster is a question for Q&A time, but we have only 2 sets. Okay, who's next? Yes.
My name is from the Master Island. I have a question to presentation to Grandmaster Dajjal. Because in your presentation you say that the chain is as strong as it is weakness link. So my question is, what is the weakness link in Taekwondo to bring the traditional Taekwondo back? Where exactly to start? What is the plan at number 1?
Everything starts and ends with a vision and an idea, a philosophy. If we can work on the philosophy, we can go down to all the other details, tying things together. This is to be achieved. At this moment in time, say for instance, I am practicing Taekwondo of New. Our syllabus, our time for giving classes is so limited. We cannot cover the whole entire curriculum within 1 hour or 2 hours of practice. It is practically impossible. So that's the reason why we have to schedule it into stages. We have to teach everything at the same time, and that's exactly how we learned way back in the time. It was structured, and this is the reason why we have a global vision. We can see it all from a distance, and we can see ourselves in it. Yes, we are very weak if one of your components within those 5, be it Cook or be it Kirby or be it Humble, if one of them is dependent or actually taken off from the strength of the other one, this is your weak link. And that chain of Taekwondo that we know is broken and perhaps weakened, to say the least. Thank you.
One more question, please stand up.
السلام عليكم. موفق نصر من الجمهورية اليمنية. أستاذ سامر إذا تكرمت يعني أنا سأتحدث بالعربية.
ممتاز، أعطيني خاصة الأستاذ. This is Mr. موفق نصر from Yemen, the President of Yemeni Association.
الحقيقة أن التايكوندو العالمي الذي بدأ وانطلق من جمهورية كوريا حقق نجاحات كبيرة حتى أصبحت رياضة التايكوندو رياضة عالمية أولمبية واجتماعية وجماهيرية.
It was moving forward and developed widely and reached to highest level.
ولكن هذه النجاحات صاحبتها بعض الظواهر التي تحتاج إلى دراسة وتدقيق. فهل من أهداف GTTF عمل هذه الدراسات للخروج بالنتائج التي تؤدي للحفاظ على هذه النجاحات وتجاوز أي ظواهر لا تكون إيجابية من خلال قواعد التايكوندو على مستوى العالم؟
This development, of course, reached or found other challenges. Like one of them is the missing of some traditional elements. So, has anyone did any research or any paper or anything to put it properly to solve the problem, to show what is the problem exactly? Thank you.
Anyone have any feedback on this?
Marhaba. Allow me to answer you in Arabic if you don't mind, and I will translate as well in English. بالدرج والجوارير تبع كوكيهم في كنز من المعلومات اللي تقدمت بواسطة البيسس اللي نحن كنا نسويها كل ما كان في تيست. المقتدرات اللي just saying that with the theses that have been submitted at Kukiwan every time that we presented a high bank, there is a wealth of knowledge being stacked somewhere in drawers. It's a pity that it has not been exploited, taken out, and published for the benefit of all of us. If we're looking for research, the research is already made, and it's made by all of us.
Thank you. Thank you. We want to thank all the questions. Unfortunately, our time is short, but you will have an opportunity to ask the speakers your questions during the General Assembly tomorrow. There will be an opportunity. We want to make sure that your questions are answered, so please feel free to reach out to the speakers tomorrow during our General Assembly.
Mañana y en el transcurso del tiempo vamos a poder hacer preguntas individuales a los miembros que expusieron hoy en la Asamblea.
لضيق الوقت يعني ما في إمكانية لاستقبال الأسئلة، لكن بكرة في اجتماع الجمعية العمومية خلال اجتماع الجمعية العمومية يستطيع عندك سؤال توجهه للمتحدثين فممكن ذلك، وإن شاء الله كل شيء إن شاء الله.
And I was thinking that this was going to be very demanding and be very, well received, and my expectation was correct. So tomorrow morning we're going to have a little more discussion about the Global Traditional Taekwondo Federation's purpose and vision more. So I think we can share many things, and that's one of the reasons why you are here today. So I really appreciate that all of your participation in this discussion. This thing will only make our Taekwondo grow positively. Yeah. And also we have a special guest. He was the former ambassador of the the Arab Emirates, and also military general. I'd like to have a General Lee come forward and give us your feedback and your comment, and so we can wrap our global traditional think tank forum today. Ladies and gentlemen, General Lee.
Thank you very much. We welcome everybody come from all over the world, especially you love Taekwondo, right? Yes, sir. Yes. I worked for the Army more than 39 years, almost 40 years, and retired as Solicitor General. And then working at the United Arab Emirates, 2021 and 2022 during the Corona season. So at this moment, I have the same idea about the Germany, especially the defense side. The Taekwondo is getting weaker and weaker. It's not the martial art, it's not the sport, just we can develop and then we can more strength about the Taekwondo. So Taekwondo did not come from 1955. It's come from more than 2,000 years long history. So today I just want to make Taekwondo is not modern martial art. It's have very long times, more than 2,000 years, long time history. The name is changed. So we can say about the Taekwondo, we can understand the long history about the Taekwondo, and then we can understand the history history of Taekwondo, we can develop the Taekwondo more. So I'm very happy and I'm very thrilled to meet you. So it's my honor to say a little bit something and then have a good time in Korea. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Okay, I have a few announcements before we break from here. I would like to ask for Spanish and Arabic translation to make sure everybody understands. Okay, first thing, lunch. Okay, right now it's lunchtime. You will go to the same bridge that you went yesterday, across the bridge, but opposite side of the restaurant yesterday. There is a building, and it says, I believe, Ski House on it. We're going in through that building, take the escalator upstairs to the second floor, and there is the cafeteria.
Ya es el tiempo del almuerzo y el almuerzo va a ser igual que ayer cruzando el pequeño puente. Cuando lleguen ahí van a tocar a la derecha del restaurante donde fuimos ayer y van a entrar a ese edificio que está ahí y suben al segundo piso y a la cafetería que está en el segundo piso.